What's up, everybody? Welcome to GameFace, episode 462 on Sifted Games at sifted.net. The holidays are here, and we're here to celebrate them with you. And alongside me to do that, of course, is Matt Keil. How are you, Matt?
Not here yet.
Happy holidays to you, brother.
Indeed.
Yeah, we're pretty much there at this point.
Yeah, we got a week.
I mean, I leave to go home next Thursday, so it really is a week. I have so much stuff to get done in the next. I'm scared, actually, at all the stuff I have to get done before I take off. But we're up against it. So this is our second to last stream of 2025. So we'll be back next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here like we always are.
Maybe.
Actually, maybe. We got something we got to talk about in a second. And so next week it will actually be kind of two streams in one. The first part of the stream will be the last GameFace of the year. And basically all that is we wrap up the big stories from the Game Awards, like all the big reveals, talk very quickly about the show, and then we reveal the Fantasy League winners, so the league winner between Matt and I, but also the Sifted Fantasy Challenge, which you guys have been playing in all year. So the first part of that is like an hour long. We talk about the big stuff in the Game Awards. We give out the awards for our Fantasy League winners, and then we'll break down for just like a couple minutes, and then we'll start the Sifted Game of the Year Awards for 2025. Altogether, the stream is usually about the same length as if we just did one episode of GameFace, because the shorter GameFace is an hour, and then the awards are 2 hours or a little bit less. So ultimately, it's the same time commitment, but you'll be getting two sort of pieces of content all in one. Now, to talk about what happened last week. So I'm sure there are some people on our YouTube chat right now that are like, bro, what the hell happened last week? Like, in the middle of the show, the stream just went down. And what happened was the PC that we used to stream shut down. And it's not that big a deal on Twitch. Like, you can, once the stream goes down on Twitch, you can easily put the stream right back up. On YouTube, it's a different thing. So before we stream every day or every Tuesday, I have to go in and create a session on YouTube. And that connects, like, our streaming software with the YouTube software. And the problem is, once that stream goes down, that instance is closed out. And you have to start a whole instance all over again. And we didn't want to take the time to do that. Last week, we just brought the show back up on Twitch. So anyway, we're not 100% sure it's not going to happen again. We don't know. It actually shut down when I was preparing for the show today, but we think we may have found the problem. So anyway, I'm just going to say right now, at the show open, if the stream does go down, we're going to be back up on Twitch very quickly. We probably won't come back up on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube and that happens, maybe head over to twitch.tv/siftedgames to watch the rest of the show. And if you're on Twitch, there will be a slight break while we get the stream back up for you guys or whatever. So anyway, just so you know what happened, we apologize, but there's nothing we can do. We're just sitting here and the PC just shuts down.
I think it's the power cord.
It could be the power cord. It could be the big transition from Windows 10 to Windows 11. Everyone's being forced to go through right now.
I have that shut down on that. That's my old gaming PC. I had all the automatic updates shut off.
Gotcha.
Specifically for that reason.
Okay, that's a good idea. Excuse me. So anyway, that's what happened last week. This week we have a great show for you guys. We're going to review definitely the biggest game of December, Metroid Prime 4. We're also going to talk about this little game called Horses that has been raising a major stink across the industry. In fact, the game has been banned on Steam and Epic Game Store. We're going to give you our predictions for the Game Awards as far as like who will win what awards. We're going to try to come up with some crazy stuff that might happen throughout the show. We're going to get your input on that as well in our chat. See what you guys are thinking as far as like what game's going to win each award. Then we're going to go through about 15 other awesome topics for today's show. This week's show is going to be a little bit like last week, where it isn't like 3-4 big games and then a small sort of news section. It's just going to be kind of equal throughout the entire episode. By the way, none of y'all gave me any feedback about whether you liked that format or not. I asked you guys for feedback and like nobody said anything. So I'm just going to assume that you guys loved it. I'll just put it out there like that. So Matt, how's your week been?
All right.
Yeah?
I got all my holiday parties out of the way. So.
You don't enjoy holiday parties?
I do.
You say out of the way?
There's a lot of stuff to do to get ready. There's baking and such. It's not like a normal gathering. Everybody's got to prepare. So
you hit a bunch of holiday parties this week?
Yeah.
That's fun.
It was fine.
Yeah. It was just fine.
It's all the same people, as I always say.
Oh, really?
So everyone's wearing the sweaters.
Right. And eating cookies and other awesome stuff.
It's not like the old days of Jeremy Hoffman's, like, industry-wide sweater party that people would fly in for.
Yeah, we used to have an awesome video game industry party here in LA that our buddy Jeremy Hoffman threw. That literally is probably, 300 people?
Something like that, yeah.
All just industry folks, people who we worked with.
Yeah, you never know who was going to show up.
And to Matt's point, people would fly into LA for that party.
It was a destination party.
Yeah.
No question.
And now Jeremy lives in Raleigh, and he works at Epic on Fortnite. So anyway.
One time Jennifer Hale came over.
What'd you say?
One time
oh, that's
Jennifer
right.
Hale showed
I forgot
up.
about that.
Commander Shepard's here.
I forgot about that. Yeah. It used to be a big deal. So anyway, I've actually had a horrible week. I think I mentioned on GameFace a month or two ago that somebody hit my car in a parking lot and didn't leave a note, and I was going to have to pay for the repair. Well, that did happen. I had put it in the shop over Thanksgiving because my wife went home for Thanksgiving. So while she was gone, I could use her car, and my car was in the shop. Well, holiday break finishes, car still wasn't done. I go in to get it 2 days ago, and the car won't run. So the body shop fixed the body, and it looks great, but now the car won't run. And they're like, sorry, don't know what happened. And now I have to pay to get the car fixed again. I have to pay to get the car repaired in addition to the bodywork. Anyway, it has been a bad week for Shane. I'm hoping this show will make things a little bit better. I don't know why I got dry throat today for some reason.
Well, some of it's just the... messing with all the PC stuff.
Oh, that could be.
Kicking dust
kicked up. I'm sorry, and I do have allergies as well, so that might have something to do with it. So anyway, this is the last normal episode of GameFace for 2025. And again, we'll have the short one next week, and then our Game of the Year awards. And again, we'll give you guys your award for whoever won the SIFTD Fantasy Challenge. And I haven't checked on that, have you?
No.
I haven't seen how I'm doing or you're doing. I don't know what's going on here, why I'm coughing so much. So anyway, let's check in with you guys and see what you're up to on this fine Tuesday afternoon. Let me put on my glasses so I can read it. Immortan Joe saying happy holidays to all the sifters. Same to you guys as well. Just a reminder, this time of year, a lot of people like to just give us donations and want to buy us a beer for the holidays. To do that, go to donate.sifted.net. You can input any amount you want using any credit card and PayPal in over 100 countries. That would be sweet. Vincent says, I'm in the lead of the Fantasy Challenge last I checked. Wow. Congratulations, Vincent. I mean, usually by now, unless somebody picked Metroid Prime 4 or something like that, you kind of know who won.
Yeah, everything's out. Basically, you look at everyone who didn't get a 0. And...
Yeah. And last year we had the winner try to... so how it works is the winner... If they're a patron, and they've been a patron all year, they win 2 games. If they're not a patron, they win 1. Last year, the person realized they were going to win and tried to join the Patreon so that they got the 2 games at the end. I was like, nope, sorry, didn't work that way. What's it held for this time?
Degenerates.
You guys are always bullying each other in our chat. E-Themon says, E33 seems to be cleaning up. We'll see. We're going to talk about that today. Rogerty, I really like the moment Shane got a huge N64 present. Yes, so I'm working on a short for that right now that I'm going to put up on Christmas Day. And I'm taking suggestions for titles. Some people suggested N64 Kid 2025 for the title of the short. What do you think about that? Kind of similar vibe.
Yeah, I remember that.
I could have been that kid if I got an N64 at 5 years old.
Yeah.
I was the SNES kid or whatever back whenever I was young.
You're a little older than that.
Yeah, I am, for sure.
That kid, that would have been more of an...
I would have been like
an Atari 5200 kid.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, or 7800, something like that. Yep, for sure. Let's see. Did y'all see they're releasing different colors? Yeah, so they're basically following in Nintendo's footsteps. They're putting out all the candy-colored casings and everything. It looks cool. Yep, we saw it, Draylox. Alexandro Sifted, who said he's joining the show live for the first time in a while, says Rockstar screwed half the contestants of the Fantasy Challenge. Yep. And so we know we can't win, so I just go for it. I just pick, the pie-in-the-sky craziest games. I'm trying to, score the most points possible in that thing. So I'm never going to win because I just intentionally, give myself no chance. But, yeah, I picked Grand Theft Auto 6. I think a lot of people did. Immortan Joe says, dropping a donation on the site now. Thank you very much. $1 for every episode of GameFace. Wow, thank you, man. That's awesome. Again, if you guys want to do that, if you want to help us out that way, just go to donate.sifted.net. And there's a page there where you can just punch in whatever amount you want. That's awesome, man. Thank you, Immortan Joe. Eth Demon says, also current speculation is Divinity Original Sin 3 will be revealed at the TGAs. We're going to talk about that,
it's
too.
not speculation. We know now.
Yeah. In fact, it kind of ruined one of my predictions for the Game Awards, and it was too late because I got here, and it's too late to change it. So, and my prediction was wrong. I would add. Rogerty says, Dr. Doak, the dev from GoldenEye, is really nice. Yeah, I've met him before. I think I met him at E3. He did a dev commentary once on YouTube with a small channel. That's awesome. Yeah. I've met him before. And what's the other guy in the Klob? Ken Lobb. We've all met him a ton of times. He worked at Nintendo for years.
I impressed / annoyed him during the Grab by the Ghoulies little tour they did, because they were doing a...
He was the liaison between Nintendo and Rare. And then when Rare left Nintendo, he left with them.
Rare, and they were touring Grab by the Ghoulies around. And during the presentation, at some point, they did. There's a thing where you're supposed to kick goblins through like a hole or something, and like it was a mini game. It kept track of how many goblins you kicked. And he's like the dev record is like 16. So, and we're challenging all the game journalists to be able to tie the record. And I'm like, sure. So I got 23 or something.
Like your first try.
And he was like, that was the dev team record. It was just like, you've never played that before. I'm like, yeah. And apparently for the rest of the tour, he would be like, the fucking Tech TV guy like broke the record. We're not going to worry about that. Like,
that's funny.
I found that after the PR, the Microsoft PR. I can't remember who it was. She was the Microsoft PR rep with him.
Yeah.
And she later I ran into her, and she's like, he complained about you every single stop after that for the rest of the thing.
The funny thing is, so you may remember in GoldenEye there was this crappy SMG called the Klob, and it was literally like the worst weapon in the game, and it was named after Ken Lobb. You may not know
because it was the worst weapon.
And they were like teasing him basically. Yeah, he was like the direct link to Rare for Nintendo for the whole time that sort of Rare and Nintendo had that relationship.
I also reacted during that presentation because there's a scene where one of the characters says is a tutorial kind of thing, but at some point one of the characters says something about gold, and it's like because you're collecting gold or whatever. He's like, gold, always believe in your soul. And I'm like, that's an amazing deep cut Spandau Ballet reference to True, the song True. And no one else in the room knew what it was. And I'm just like, well, whoever put that in at Rare, I appreciate you, because I got it.
Hey, over on YouTube, Niall Sings, your first time watching live. Welcome, man. We're here every Tuesday. Come on back. We're here Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, every freaking Tuesday. Well, after next Tuesday, we'll be gone for a week or two. But come back once we get back going for 2026.
Whoever got the highest score with picking GTA 6 should get some kind of consolation
You're probably prize. Right. Yeah, like the sad guy prize.
You get like a GTA 5 online currency card code or something for like $5 in GTA currency.
Yep.
Here you go. Play this until the other one comes out, you dumbass.
Yeah. Draylox is asking, is a donate link the best way to support us as far as like the cut? Yes. That is the way that we will get the most of your money. Because at that point, the only cut that we're losing is from our own credit card processor, where if you bump up your pledge on Patreon or bump up your amount on YouTube and Patreon take a much bigger cut out of that in addition to sort of the processing fee. So yeah, donate.sifted.net, hands down, the best way to give us money, no doubt about it. AJ the Legend is asking, Shane or Matt, are either of you watching Welcome to Derry?
No.
Is that the It TV show?
It prequel series. No.
I saw people were saying it's the best representation of that character ever or something.
That's not what the people I know have been
saying really?
Who are watching. I have no interest in...
You didn't like It?
I like It. I mean, I like the book. Mm-hmm. I like the old Tim Curry series. I like the first recent movie. I did not make it through the second one.
Yeah.
Now the second half of that story has always been weaker than the first. Anyway, it's not entirely that movie's fault. But I don't. If what happened before that was the interesting part of the story, Stephen King would have written that.
You're right.
So
that's a good point.
I don't really care about prequel stuff.
Yeah, I mean they're milking the IP. Basically.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And they could do an okay job at it, but you're right. Ultimately, that's what they're doing.
But in terms of things like that, I'm going to wait until it's done. And if people I know and trust, whose opinions I trust, say like, oh, they actually stuck the landing and figured it out, I'll go back and watch it then.
I do everything that way now.
But I'm not sitting through one episode at a time. Just be like,
well, that one
really?
sucked. Do I want to watch the next one?
Similar to how I will not sit down and watch Stranger Things season 5 until I know. I mean, I'm not going to do that anyway. I don't care about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Like the first season was pretty good, and then it should have stopped.
I think the first season, it resonated with a lot of people because if anybody grew up in a town, like that's just the way life was. Like my little town I grew up in, it looked like the town in Stranger Things. I feel like they did a really good job of like nailing that Americana.
Yeah, they didn't do a very good job of nailing the 80s.
Because at least not my 80s.
No, not mine either, because they didn't live there. They were born in like 85.
Right.
They don't know anything about the. Like, I have tons of setting like in the new season. At one point, this kid's playing Ghosts and Goblins on his Nintendo, and it's the arcade version. And I'm like,
how'd you screw that up?
How do you go through that much effort to? And it turns out, if you just Google Ghosts and Goblins, that's the first YouTube video that comes up. Is what they're using.
That's hilarious.
And it's like they just ran it through.
Really, they're that freaking lazy.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
You've got how many millions of dollars?
What kind of budget you got there?
It took you 6 years to make this thing or whatever, and that's what like Finn Wolfhard was in 2 Ghostbusters movies between season 4 and season 5. Like it's incredible.
Luna Cholibre, thank you for Twitch Prime. Thank you for Twitch Prime.
I haven't seen Pluribus, but I do want to see Pluribus because I do trust Vince Gilligan and the Breaking Bad people to make a good show. Obviously.
Big Smoke 82 is saying he also enjoyed Welcome to Derry. It seems most people I've talked to seems that they like it. At least.
I just don't. I don't care. Like I don't care what happened to. Yeah, and some of my friends that don't know anything about it or like the Stephen King-averse are kind of be like, why is the clown from space? He's a killer clown from outer space. I was like, that was always this. I mean, he's an eldritch horror. He's from a dimension of unseen time.
Yeah,
that's what he is. There's another one, a version of his species in the Dark Tower books. It's a thing. It's fun. This one just happened to pick a clown because it's you got to adapt to the culture you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was way ahead of his time, realizing that clowns were scary.
That's true.
Because clowns
way before Gacy.
Because clowns being scary was created by Gacy, Poltergeist, and It. Like before that, there is no record of people having
thinking clowns were scary.
Phobias of clowns in the psychiatric
Poltergeist,
record.
Really, man. That scene scared the crap out of me.
Well, even if that fucking clown didn't get up and move around, who buys something that crazy and ugly for their child? Like, what is that clown doll doing? Even if the house wasn't haunted, like that kid would have had nightmares from that fucking clown.
Tiny2K, thank you for subscribing at Tier 1 on Twitch. That's awesome. Thank you, man. Threadzilla just donated $20. Thank you, Threadzilla. That's awesome, man. I will definitely have a beer on you. And again, don't forget, people, I will post on my social media when I go to the beer distributor in Pennsylvania. I will show you the exact beer that I buy with your donations. I do it every single year. I promise you that. Thank you, Threadzilla.
Fine Philadelphia craft.
So my favorite beer in Pennsylvania is a beer called Yuengling. And it's not an expensive beer. It's like if you live in Pennsylvania, at least when I lived there, it was $14 a case. Now, of course, it's like $22 a case. Here, it's almost $60 a case. Yeah. It's like the forbidden fruit for me here. So when I go home, I get at least one case of Yuengling.
Mostly I know it as a Star Wars joke.
Oh, Yuengling, really?
Yeah. It's a comic that somebody did around the time Episode 3 came out, and Obi-Wan comes home and Anakin is just drinking beer, watching TV, and he's just like, I hope you left some for me. And he opens the fridge and it's just empty bottles, and he goes by the Force, he's killed all the younglings because he killed all the children.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the earliest like Anakin being a child murderer jokes. Is that beer.
Yeah.
So I assume whoever did that comic is from that area.
Yuengling is a lager and a very smooth drinking beer. It's the kind of beer where if you're going to like a cookout at your buddy's house and you're going to be drinking in the sun like all day and you need to like pace yourself, it's the perfect beer. It's a good beer for golf. Anything where you just don't want to get wasted, you just want to keep kind of drinking all for over hours at a time, Yuengling is great for that. I highly recommend it no matter where you live, trying to get yourself a case. It is delicious.
I remember it being pretty good.
It is really good.
Everybody came back from college with like local beers to try, and I remember that one and Fat Tire were
Yep,
the two that
that's a good one, too.
we like the most.
That Fat Tire was like the first popular microbrew. It was like the little indie beer that made everybody realize, oh wow,
there's things to be
there's
discovered
beer
everywhere.
that's better than Budweiser out there. It really did change things.
My friend who went to Boulder came back with that from Colorado, and it was like,
sense.
and it is very good.
It is.
I don't actually like beer very much, but I do like Fat Tire.
Yeah, I mostly drink vodka, mixed drinks, LS Cream, obviously. I usually just mix up liquor drinks now.
And of course, Guinness in Ireland.
Right. I have not had that.
Completely different
I've
from
heard.
Guinness anywhere else.
I've never had it.
Because it turns out if you put something in a can and ship it across an ocean, it kind of changes the taste a little bit.
Funny how that works.
But like you have it over there, and it's like,
oh, I see now.
I see why this is renowned around the globe. I get it.
Emperor Dread, thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime. That's incredible. Big Smoke says it shows you how he becomes Pennywise the Clown. That's the idea about
I don't need to know that.
Khalid Tolai, sorry about the car. $100 donation. Thank you, man. That's freaking awesome. Wow. Rogerty, I donated yesterday. $5 euro. Thank you. Buy a Dutch beer for me. Recommend a Dutch beer, and I will make sure that I get one, Rogerty. I promise you. Thank you, Khalid. That's awesome, man. He also gave us some free bits. Thank you. You're just unloading today. Noxator says, cherished by all Pennsylvanians far and wide. It is. Yingling is like, a lot of beers in Pennsylvania, they're like localized. Like there's Iron City beer from Pittsburgh or whatever. But Yingling, people in the whole state drink it. And nobody claims it and says, oh, this is our beer. It's just Pennsylvania's beer. It is really good. Again, you guys should try to get it if you can. Angry Video Game Nerd drinks Yingling. I think he's also a rural Pennsylvania guy. James. Yeah, I've worked with James a ton, obviously. What else we got in here? Thank you, Andy T. Monahan, for subscribing at Tier 1. And I think that's it. Shane, at this rate, you'll be drunk in PA. I will be drunk the whole time. I mean, that's pretty much what I do. I hardly ever drink anymore. I literally, like, if I'm here, I'll drink like 3 days a year. Maybe. But when I go home, all my friends just drink, like, every day. They go to happy hour every day after work. Like, that's just what people do in central Pennsylvania with their time off. So, to be fair, after 5 or 6 o'clock, pretty much every day from December 18th to the 30th, I'm probably going to be in some shade of drunk. That's just kind of how it is.
Everyone deserves a couple hours to not remember they're in central Pennsylvania, I suppose.
That's fair. That is totally fair. So anyway, yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys for all those donations. Keep them coming, because obviously it helps us a big time, and we're coming into the holiday season just like you guys, and we just appreciate it very, very much. Someone else asking for the donation link. The donation link is just donate.sifted.net, if anyone's asking. It's pretty easy to remember. And you got to sit there and go through a CAPTCHA for security or whatever, but otherwise it's pretty easy. All right.
You're paused again.
Oh, and there's all kinds of awesome stuff happening. I want to get rid of the stupid hype train thing. It won't go away. Rogerty, thank you for the bits. You guys are just really hooking it up, man. That is awesome. And then Vincent put the link in the chat there for any of you guys that want it. Thank you, Vincent. Appreciate that. Hopefully the hype train will go away. Yeah.
It is weird that if you scroll too far down, it pauses.
It's really bizarre. Yep. JM59854673201. It says Yingling was the good beer in college. Drank too much Pennsylvania style. Word up, man. Are you from PA? I don't know where you're from. I'm from Carlisle, right in the smack dab center of the state. Yeah. All right. I think it's time, Matt, for us to get on with GameFace, episode 462, right here on Sifted Games at sifted.net. But before we do that, of course, we have to hear from our awesome sponsor, LS Cream. It's LS Cream, the fine cream liqueur crafted by fellow gamer and sifter, Stevens Charles. Inspired by the Haitian drink Cré Mas, LS Cream delivers an award-winning experience with every single pour. One sip and you'll see why. It's a party favorite. The silky blend of fresh cream and premium neutral grain spirits mixes great with everything. I dare you to put a shot in your coffee. I've been drinking it for years and still, I find new combinations that taste incredible. LS Cream is the kind of drink that keeps surprising you thanks to its notes of vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, and coconut. Take it to any gathering, and watch it steal the spotlight. We've never seen anyone resist. Ready to join the fan club? Head to creamls.com/sifted for recipes, retailers, and online orders. That's creamls.com/sifted. Guys and girls, my Apple Watch is going berserk right now with all the alerts from you awesome people donating right now. It is going bam, 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 bam. Thank you. That is so freaking awesome. You guys are awesome. I knew that already. Let's talk about LS Cream, though, because I'm running out of time to talk about LS Cream. I got today, and then I got next Tuesday to make sure you guys get in gear and become a part of the LS Cream 5K challenge. When I say 5K, that means $5,000. I don't know anybody who could not use $5,000 right now, Matt, except for a couple 8 billionaires or trillionaires at this point. I guess they're trillionaires now. Everybody else, I think...
They'd still take it from you.
They will still take it. In fact, they will. But everybody else, you can really use $5,000, I promise you. And here's the thing. You have a really good chance of winning. Here's the thing. I'm sure you listen to me talking about this, and you're like, that takes some steps. The thing is, because it takes some steps, it means that you may not have a lot of competition in this thing. You can go on Instagram and look for yourself, follow the hashtag, and see how many entries there are. I'm just telling you, man, it could be a pretty easy way to win $5,000. Go to creamls.com/sifted. Once you're there, sign up for the website. You have to do that first. And then right on the main page there's the contest information. There's some paperwork you have to fill out. That's legalese, mumbo jumbo. You got to do it or you can't win. Fill that out. Sign up on the website. And then just get a bottle of LS Cream and start working on drinks until you come up with something awesome. Here's the thing. They don't even really have to taste all that good. They have to sound like they're going to taste good, right?
They have to look good.
Yeah, they just have to look good. Yeah. So make sure you spend time on that photo. Make it look good. You're putting it on Instagram, after all, on your Instagram account. Make sure you tag LS Cream and you tag 3 friends and cross those fingers and hope that you win $5,000. I would not be beating this drum like this if I didn't think you all had a great chance of winning $5,000 right at the holidays. Everything closes down on December 31st. Get those entries in. Again, go to creamls.com/sifted. All right. And now it is time, people, to talk about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Not a Switch 2 exclusive, I would add. It also came out for the Switch. And Matt, I've been hearing that it runs pretty great on the Switch 1. It runs really great on the Switch 2, which both of us played it on the Switch 2. Let's talk about it. So we mentioned it last week because the reviews had just come out. The embargo had just broken. And it seemed like the bigger outlets was giving it higher scores than the smaller guys. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where we left it. We were like, that's interesting. And then literally, I think the next day, I got a code from Nintendo or whatever, launched the next day, really. Yeah. And I've been playing it ever since. How much have you managed to finish it?
Oh, no. I don't know. I'm probably like closing in on halfway through it.
How many hours have you put into it?
6.
Okay. So you're not spending a ton of time looking for tanks and all that kind of stuff?
No, I just haven't had a lot of time to play.
All the parties and everything you've been going to?
A little bit. And also, like, I've fallen asleep 4 times trying to play this game. I don't know if that's me or the game.
Could be a combo.
And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, if I do have a little bit of time, I'm like, eh.
This isn't a great game for I have a little bit of time.
No, it's not.
Because there's like the checkpoints and the saving is kind of old school.
Yeah, I mean, you can put the Switch to sleep, obviously.
Yeah.
And quote unquote,
which is what
save
I do,
it wherever you want. And luckily, because when I fall asleep playing it, it does that anyway. I'm like, okay, I'm right there where I was. That's fine. Yeah, I don't. It's.
It gives you opportunities to stop playing.
Here's the thing,
regularly.
like, you know, we had all the high scores last week, and all the the mid-level score, the 80s and the 85s and the 60s and the. I kind of agree with all of them.
Yeah.
Depending on like what
you
time
can see
it
their
is.
perspective.
Yeah, it's like it's not great.
No.
But
it's still pretty damn good.
It's pretty good. I like it better than 2 and 3.
I think the vision became too scattered for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably. I mean, it definitely feels like kind of less than the sum of its parts, or at least some of the parts are not what they imagined them to be. You could get like the stuff that's tried and true Metroid Prime stuff is really good. The stuff that's sort of the new injections are probably going to be good next time.
Maybe.
If they get to do it
If there
again.
is another one. So, I believe that this game is a transition game for the franchise. And what Nintendo is trying to do is make it sort of the next open world.
It definitely feels like they're chasing their own trend.
Yeah. It feels like they're trying to turn Metroid into Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. And either Retro doesn't have the chops to do it, or it didn't have the time to do it.
They nailed the empty world.
Yeah, they did.
Like, just bang up job. Giving me an empty world that separates the interesting parts for no good reason.
Yeah. You're right, it is kind of similar, but to be fair, in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, there is a lot more to do than there is in this.
There's little things there are little things to find in this too, but the problem is that they're all locked behind upgrades you get later that you can't. I mean, when you find something in the Zelda games in the open world, it's usually not any more interesting than what you find here, but you can interact with it immediately.
Yeah.
Like
in this, a lot of times you'll find like an outpost in the middle of the desert, and you fiddle around with it for like 20 minutes and realize you can't get into it. That you need some ability that you don't have yet. And you just wasted...
If you scan it, it usually tells you, like, you need the ice thing or you need whatever. It's just like, okay, how do you know that I'm going... I guess, you are psychic in this game, I guess, so that's why you already know.
The scanning in this game is insane. Like, you can literally scan a piece of trash on the floor. It's like... You can
scan anything.
It's a little overboard.
Well, and to be fair, like, very little of it is actually part of the scanning database.
Right.
Like... like there's you need to scan all the enemies and all the allies and a lot of the major locations and equipment types, but like you don't need to scan everything. Like scanning everything is just if you want information about everything.
You can scan like the boxes on the ground.
Yep.
And
there's like lore to them all. Like
it's
they
a little
use this
annoying.
for this, and it's a little bigger than this thing because they use it to transport this stuff. And it's like, well, I mean, I guess I'm glad somebody thought of that. It's still weird you put that much thought into what all the different boxes do, and nobody decided to let Samus say anything in the whole game.
I just wish that, like, after I scanned a box once, all the future boxes were unscannable. Like, at the end of the game, I was still able to scan new boxes on the ground. And I'm
they're all different boxes.
I know, it's just like... It
like
feels...
the Federation boxes are different from the Alien boxes, which are different from the Space Pirate boxes.
Yeah.
So.
The scanning is a little overboard in this, I think, but it's there. If you love it, this is the most robust scanning that's ever been in a Metroid Prime game.
Yeah, it's not for anything. That's the thing, is like it doesn't... knowing which things you have to scan to finish the database is kind of difficult because it's all... Some of it's yellow, but some of it isn't, and some of it's, it's like whatever.
It's helped me fight a couple bosses. That's the best thing I can say. It gives you hints.
It's pretty good at telling you when you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Like if you scan the environment, you're like, okay, I need this to do this, and like I guess I'm going to get that eventually, and so I'm going to go away.
The her morph ball mode also feels pretty inconsequential in this. It feels like it's more of like a means to an end, kind of what you just saw right there in the B-roll. It's like getting from one place to another, but there aren't missions where you use it like consistently. Like a lot of boss fights, bosses will send out a wave of like electricity, and there's like a 2-foot gap between the floor, and you have to you just duck under it with the ball.
Or you gotta drop bomb. They hit a mode, and you have to drop bombs to knock them out of it, kind of thing. And every once in a while, I get a little like side-scrolling thing. I get through tubes or whatever, and everything. Obviously, very conveniently, everything in the universe in Metroid uses a 2-foot wide ball technology to like activate or spin up or and conveniently. Samus can do that.
Yeah.
Just like how you're transported to another planet on some far side of the universe and Uncharted, no one's ever been there or heard of it before, but everything kind of works with her suit pretty well.
Yeah.
Now, I chalk that up to be that all these aliens are super high advanced psychic people, so like their tech is just so good they can scan her suit and know that that's how they need to adapt their stuff to work with it. I guess that's fine.
Well, to be fair, the story is, although they kind of set up the story falsely before the game came out, like they focused on, hey, there's this rival bounty hunter Silex who is causing trouble, and they call Samus in, and then she gets stranded there. But what really happens is she gets to this planet, and there's this alien race there that need her help. They're basically on the edge of being extinct.
That is an accurate description of the first 3 minutes.
Yeah,
but
and
then
after that,
the Silex's people shoot this artifact they're trying to evacuate, and it teleports like the base and her and a bunch of the bad guys and good guys. Everybody gets teleported to this other side of the universe basically, and nothing anyone's ever seen before, and like there's an alien race there. what was it, the Lemorne, which I can't help but notice is an anagram for normal, which is weird. All their architecture looks like vulvas.
Vaginas.
Yeah, there's
there are lots of vajayjays in this game.
It's very to the point that like the guy, the obnoxious sidekick you pick up, Miles. He can't see the little glowing dot at the top,
which would be another piece of anatomy.
And then even that is a little bit. And then he goes like, "Oh, it must be a sacred place. They don't want you. They're not letting people in." I'm just like, man. Is Retro just fucking with Nintendo?
Yeah, I think it might. Like, let's see if they'll tell us to take these vaginas out of our game.
Yeah, see how far we can push this. And like, turns out pretty far.
Yeah, there's millions of them in the game for sure. So that is really the plot of the game, though. Like, you have to go find these 5 keys, which basically means there's 5 main dungeons in the game. The game
so you
is
can teleport back. Think of it as it's kind of like Contact. The Jodie Foster movie.
Yeah.
Like you drop the ball and everything teleports back. I'm sure when you come back, like no time will have passed.
But as the game wears on, that's like, really the plot.
There's like you're in like the astral plane. It's actually like more. It's like more mystical than your average Metroid game.
It really is, yeah. About powers that maybe don't make
a
whole lot
of course,
of sense.
Samus, gets hit by a little thing and loses all of her abilities, so she gets psychic abilities in this, which is because you can't just do the same thing again, I guess, which is weird, but it's better than what they did to her in Fusion, I guess.
Yeah, her psychic ability, she can like move stuff with her mind, basically. And that's pretty much the extent of it. She also has this weapon that she can use when she's in that mode where she shoots a bullet, and you can control the bullet in first person, basically. And there's puzzles built around that, and there's some enemies that you need to use that on. And the challenge is finding the free time to charge up the weapon so it can fire the bullet that you can then control.
And remembering which button goes you into the scanning mode, and then you have to hold the button. Because if you hold it and then you board it, and then you hit the button again, you switch back to your normal gun, and now you got to switch it.
Yeah, there's a lot of modifiers.
There's a lot of modifiers happen. There's a little too much in places. And when I found out that there's like the psychic pull rope thing, you got to click the left stick to activate and then pull the left. I'm like, you know what, guys? Maybe you should have used the waggle. Maybe the motion controls were not as bad as I say they are.
Yeah.
Because some of that is, you can use it, and there's a whole thing at the beginning where it's like, you can use it as a mouse to aim. Like, oh my god, no. Yeah. I'm not going to use the mouse feature of the Joy-Con to aim her gun. That's crazy.
Did you try it out at all?
No.
I tried it. I just tried it on my pants. I didn't like set it up on the table or anything. No way. Are you gonna play this game like that?
I barely
set it up on a table.
I barely use the stick. Like I use the lock on.
Yeah.
And like fine aim through that, because that's basically how Metroid Prime's supposed to work.
The plot in this, I would say, it's like too much plot, but also not enough.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, there's so many. Like, she runs into these dudes that are constantly babbling at her, and I'm just like, we don't need this. And like, Miles constantly jumps in, and he says, I don't find him as obnoxious as everybody thought he was going to be.
I honestly have no problem with him at all.
The problem is that, like, I don't need you to tell me what to do next, dude.
I honestly never hear from him.
He pops in every time I will do anything.
Like, if you go to the map screen, you can
like, hey, you did this thing. You should come do this. I'm just like, I know. Like, I've played these before. You're fine. Every once in a while, you got to go all the way back to his base camp to get him to upgrade you with something you find, which is annoying because there's no fast travel.
But he doesn't like talk while you're playing. Like, either you go to the pause screen and you hit the X button to ask him to talk, or once you get into the desert hub, then he talks. But if you're actually in the levels, he never says anything.
No, he talks a lot when he's with you, but that's not. He's not there very
long. Well, after
long.
The first 40 minutes, he stays at the base.
You leave him in the base.
He doesn't go out with you anymore. I don't understand. I think that's the perfect example, Matt, of going to a preview event and being negatively influenced by something that's not a big deal in the game, and then acting like it's like a deal breaker.
Right, but also there's no way for them to have known that was not a big deal in the game, because that's not the part Nintendo showed them.
Yeah, but as you do this for years and years, you start to learn how to filter that stuff out, and you generally don't make mistakes like that. Like, I've never made a mistake like that where I put out a preview and said, this is a fatal flaw that's going to ruin the whole game.
I don't
and then it
remember
turns out
anyone
it wasn't.
saying that.
That's what IGN said.
IGN said that?
Yes. And then everybody started following suit after that. Oh, yeah, that guy, that McKenzie guy is really... No one had even played it yet. They just jumped, IGN's always right, so they must be right about this. So that McKenzie guy is really freaking annoying. As it turns out, he's really not. In fact, he may be one of the most realistic, like, at least best depicted human characters in a first-party Nintendo game ever. Like, one thing I'll say about this game is it is the most modern-looking game that Nintendo has ever published.
Well, I think this might be the best-looking Nintendo game.
Maybe.
Like it's either this or Pikmin 4.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far, but as far as,
I can't think of one that looks better than this.
The facial animation, the human character models, everything else in this is, like, the best Nintendo's ever done.
Like, you could almost convince me this is a PS5 game.
Yeah. And they have, like, their own... The game still has, like, its own art style. I'm sure you guys are seeing it in this B-roll. It almost looks like a painting at times.
Yeah, I mean, even if you took the HUD thing away, I would know this is Metroid Prime.
Oh, yeah.
It looks it has that, whatever that style you want to call Metroid Prime has, it has it.
So many times in this game, I would come into a new area and just stand there and look. Because there's just so much going on. It's like, I laugh all the time about games where you run up and, like, the birds take off. Mm-hmm. In this one, it's not the birds taking off. It's the birds coming at you, the birds flying across the scene. Like, some of the areas in this are just gorgeous. Like, literally, this is one of the best-looking games of 2025, and it's a Switch 2 game. Like, I'd put this up against...
that's also a Metroid Prime tradition.
It's true. It is true. Like, Retro, their engineers still got it. Yeah. Like, their engineers are still really freaking good. Now,
whatever that tradition they have there is, it's still going.
The people who designed the game, I think maybe they may have lost some talent there. Because, to your point earlier, Matt, like, when you're in it and you're just playing through the levels, it's Metroid Prime and it's sublime. And it feels amazing. But then you have to go and jump on the motorcycle and start driving across this empty desert and there's no fast travel in the game. There's no way to get back anywhere quickly. No. So you always have to travel and lug it the whole distance.
And in a game like this, like, you get to some place and you're like, oh, I don't have the thing I need to do this yet, so I gotta go elsewhere.
All the way
back. Yeah. And it's just, well...
It gets annoying.
It is annoying. And it's like, again, like the motorcycle stuff, like, it's fine. Like, it controls fine. Like, I don't know, like, the racing parts of it. And, like, it's all, there's track sections, which are fine. It controls well. Like, it's... But I don't understand what it's doing in a Metroid game.
No clue
like, it doesn't add anything to it. And I don't... Like, the Metroid Prime parts do not benefit from making me ride across an empty desert between each one. Like, I don't understand what that was supposed to... net me there.
The other thing too is because this game is like these 5 big environments separated by this big desert. The level design isn't like typical Metroidvania. It's not like you're constantly folding in on the level design and returning to these places. It's like you go to one area, you play through it, you go to another area, you get something in that area, you have to drive all the way back on the bike to that first area you were at, and then go all the way down through the level again to use that one thing.
Yeah.
And then get back on the bike.
Which is usually the ball spin thing. There's a point at which you're going to start noticing all the little things where you go in the little cubby hole and you spin the ball and that activates the thing by friction. Like,
they're everywhere.
You start seeing them everywhere, and you're like, "Oh my god, I don't have that yet. Where do I get?" It's like, "Hey, Miles, where do I get the ball spinny thing?"
Yeah.
And that's sort of like one of the things about this that is like, I don't know. Like, I know I go on and on about, like, just make a fucking sequel today, but part of it is like, hey, could we not just constantly give her the same abilities in every game over and over, maybe this is just because I just played Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, but one of the things I did appreciate about Banjo-Tooie is that Banjo and Kazooie have all the same abilities they had in Tooie as they ended up with in Kazooie, and you learn all new things.
Yeah.
And it gets a little overwhelming at some point in that game.
Talk about modifier buttons.
But in this game, it's just, once again... It's like, okay, she loses all her stuff, and she has to get the missiles back, and she has to get the spider ball back, and she has to get all the... And it's like, it's all the same stuff she had, but this time, it's psychic. But it's all the same thing.
It is, yeah.
And it's like, would it be that bad to, like, expand what she can do, rather than just, like shuffle the deck of what we depict it as? And there's a little bit of that where, like, she has the different shot types, and like the elemental shot types in this kind of go some ways to doing that.
If you see on the bottom left there, so you can just tap the D-pad in any direction and select your ammo type, and it's not like you have to collect like fire ammo and ice ammo. You get one pool of ammo, and it works for all 4 types.
Well, no, the missiles are their own.
Right, 3 types.
And then the shot ammo is like all the elemental stuff, which works fine.
Like, so there's fire, ice, and electricity are the 3 others.
And it works fine.
Yeah.
Like it's
great. I have no problem with it at all. Now you're seeing some of the psychic stuff. This is kind of the extent of it. Like,
there's not a whole lot more to it.
Other than the weapon that you can shoot with the first-person bullet, like...
Yeah, like, this ain't Psycore or anything. Like, you're
or
not...
Psyops.
Yeah, you're not, like, lifting things and throwing barrels at it. But for a while there, I'm like, oh, do I get to, like, pick up.
Right.
There's all these boxes everywhere. Do I get to pick them up and throw them? No, it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. But back to my point about how it has too much plot but not enough. They try to expand the plot in this, but Samus is a mute, and it just doesn't work. The people are standing there talking to her. She's just standing there staring at them. Like, I get it. That's her persona or whatever. She does talk. She has talked in plenty of games. In this, it's like if you're
talking to Super Metroid.
Yeah, it's like if you're going to expand the narrative in a game, then you kind of have to have the lead protagonist participate in it.
Yeah, especially when she's she's interacting with these people. Like, if you want her to be that, then don't have her stand in front of these guys and just stand there and stare at them. Like,
it's very weird,
and not have them react to that.
Yeah.
Like she's an asshole to these.
She
guys,
really is.
Basically,
yeah.
Like if I was doing that to someone, they'd be like, "What is your problem? Like, why are you not responding to me?"
Yeah.
Especially when like Miles is Miles is a dork, and like nobody asked him to come, but he is helping her.
Well, the funny part is Samus is more annoying than the sidekicks that everybody complained about before the game came out. She's the annoying person in the whole plot because she doesn't contribute anything to it. But they're trying to sell
like
this.
And she won't even do like a thumbs up or
Nothing.
anything because they're afraid of the thumbs up because of Other M.
Oh right, that's hilarious.
Like Other M was a terrible depiction of this character.
Yeah.
But the response to that seemed to have been, we're never giving her any character ever again.
Yeah.
And I would like to, and part of it might be if they're planning to do some kind of movie with Metroid, they don't want to lock themselves into who Samus is until they make that decision.
That could be.
Because that will be the, like Zelda and Mario, that will be the depiction of who she is.
Yeah.
And whereas again, you don't have to make her talk. You don't have to do that, but you have to isolate her then. So there's a reason she isn't talking because there is Metroid Prime has always had that cool thing of that sort of, you get little glimpses of her in the face shield and stuff, and it still does that. Like when you switch to the menu, you get a quick shot.
That's
quick
the only
flash
time
of her
I've
eyes.
seen her actually.
Quick flash of her eyes. Sometimes when it goes dark, you see her looking back at the thing. You hear her when she gets hit. She screams
and
when she gets killed and stuff. But that's about it. And I'm fine. I'm fine with her being kind of enigmatic in that regard. But you can't have her be part of cutscenes with other characters delivering dialogue and not address it.
It's really
and for a while I'm like, oh, maybe she doesn't have a speaker in her suit.
Yeah.
But then they're talking to her on the radio and she's not talking back, and I'm just like, you know what? Maybe one of the reasons that everybody thought that Miles was annoying because Samus is our viewpoint character and she doesn't seem to think he's very interesting, so you don't think he's very interesting. We're predisposed to sort of align ourselves with the character we identify with and our protagonist, and so she kind of seems like she doesn't want these guys around, these other people.
Yeah, they seem annoying to her.
Yeah, and so we feel that way too because we are her.
Yeah,
we see the world through her eyes.
By the way, if you're watching this B-roll, you're like, oh my god, he just revived him. This is just this only happens once.
Yeah, this is the one.
You just have to get him across this bridge, and that's it. This isn't a regular part of the game, protecting him or whatever.
And I didn't actually. He never went down when I was playing,
really?
So I didn't actually realize he could get hurt. Until
I left him in the dust
this.
and just left him behind, and they killed him when he was back, trying to catch up. Now let's talk about the gameplay in this. You said that you rely on the lock-on. Mm-hmm. I would argue this game doesn't need a lock-on anymore. They should. I understand that that's kind of what people think Metroid Prime is, so they should include the option, but they should just also include the option to just have normal first-person shooter controls in this. It's just, for somebody who plays a lot of shooters, it's ridiculous that I can't just aim and shoot stuff.
You can.
You can, but if you aim down the sights, it locks on. So if you go to click the left trigger, it goes into a lock-on.
You gotta bring your Halo skills back.
And then you gotta start, I went in and tried to adjust how long the lock-on would stay so that it would pull off a lot easier when I wanted. I had to go in and kind of mess with the controls in this to get it somewhere where I liked it. The other thing I will say, too, is that you can run around like normal shooter controls. They are very, very sensitive. That's the first thing you gotta learn. This isn't like Call of Duty where if you want to turn right, you jam the stick all the way to the right. You just barely shade that thing. And once you get used to it, it's freaking sublime. Just barely moving that right thumb. The controls in this are great. It takes some getting used to. And I would prefer, ultimately, to have the option to just control this just like I control Call of Duty or Battlefield. Just with two sticks, fire button on the right trigger, off we go.
As long as you don't make me do it.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with you. Most people, when they think about Metroid Prime, they're like, there's a lock-on in that game. They shouldn't take that away. They should make sure they include that for fans who want to keep using it. But as someone who plays a lot of first-person shooters, having to like deal with this control scheme is idiotic. I'm just like, what the hell, man? Like, okay.
I mean, I can control first-person shooters just fine, but that's not what this game is for me.
They give you two options, and like the default one I thought was the best option of the two.
Yeah, I stuck with the default.
Yeah.
Took me a while to realize that the invert Y was different for almost every single instance of control schemes for for a long time. I'm like, how come using the motorcycle didn't feel right? I was like, oh, because there's a totally separate, and that doesn't open, like that's not in the option screen when you start the game. It doesn't like add the motorcycle options until you get the motorcycle.
Yeah.
I guess because spoilers, I don't know. It was in the you sold an amiibo of it, guys. Like we're not. It wasn't a secret.
Speaking of the amiibo, what's the deal with that? People are freaking out about that.
Because the when you're riding around in the desert areas on the bike, there's no music. But you unlock a music player on the bike by scanning the amiibo of Samus in the Various suit, or by getting 100% scanning completion at the end of the game. So you can finish the game with 100% completion and then play the game again with music on the bike if you want, or you can unlock it immediately with a $30 amiibo.
Oh man!
So that's the thing people are complaining about.
I could understand that perspective for sure.
Now, to be fair, and I have the amiibos because I get all the Metroid amiibo stuff because I like Metroid, and you don't get actual little figures of Metroid stuff very often. Yep. I did dig out my Figma of Metroid Prime Corruption for this. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Nice. I mean, she's such a good design. It shocks me there's not more figures of her.
Yeah.
But the Viola suit she gets in this might be my favorite non-standard Samus outfit.
I think all her suits look real good in this. I mean, this game in general just looks freaking amazing, man. It really does. Like like I said, it's one of the best looking games of 2025.
Like that red and black suit is really cool, and you can see the styling of like it's styled like a motorcycle racer. Like it's a racing suit, but it like looks great. It's a perfect blend of kind of that idea and what the Various suit looks like.
Yeah.
But it's the music is like music from this game, and I kind of was hoping it was going to be music throughout the Metroid.
Lots of
series.
Singing in the music in this. The music's really high quality and really good. Yeah, but there is a lot of vocals in it, which I was surprised
which
at.
is in character with the aliens that you're exploring here. Like they seem to have been a very musical race.
The audio in this in general is great, except for the surround sound is not great. Like every other Switch 2 game, it's like the satellite speakers don't exist in the 5.1 setup for Switch 2. Like when I play a Switch 2 game, my receiver reads it completely differently from when I'm playing PS5 and Xbox Series. When I play either of those consoles, 5.1. The display on my receiver shows all the speakers 5.1. When I play a Switch 2 game, it goes to this weird, goofy mode that I have never seen before, where all the speakers are like stacked in a row. It's bizarre, and I can't turn it off. Like, there's definitely weird stuff with the Switch 2 still, with HDMI 2.1 and their audio output for their games. Like, I just want Nintendo to just get up to the industry standard. Like, I just want to be able to plug in their hardware and have it work like PlayStation and Xbox's hardware, and it doesn't.
Which is funny that, like, the N64 games do.
Right. Yeah, well, the Analog 3D that you got me does. It works just like the other consoles, which is crazy, but the Switch 2 does not. The other thing I would say, too, about this game is there are definitely times where it almost feels like a boss rush game. There are so many boss fights and mini-boss fights, and they are, honestly, the only challenge in the game. Like, I did not find this game...
most of that challenge is figuring out what weird thing they want you to do. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Then as soon as you know what to do, you do it the first time. Like, I didn't
Including one that was just like, oh, it's just live a long time?
Yeah.
Fuck you. It's... You'll know it when you get to it, but it's just like, there's a thing where I'm like, what do you want me to... Like, I kept dying here. I don't know what they want me to do, because it just goes on and on and on and on. And it turns out, just don't die for a while.
Yeah. I think this is the easiest Metroid Prime of the four.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
There was a couple puzzles where I got a little bit stuck.
I didn't find too difficult.
Yeah, I didn't find the combat really tough at all. I got to bosses a couple times, but again, it was just like once I figured out what I was supposed to do, I did it the first time.
I will say that they do a lot more damage than your average Metroid game.
Yeah,
like I was impressed by how much the hits hurt.
Oh yeah, I've died. Like I'm not saying I haven't died at all, but compared to prior Metroid Prime games, I've died less for sure.
Probably.
But I still don't. It's not like I think it's easy or anything. I think it's balanced pretty well.
Super. I do think it's easier to find your way around than
oh
the
yeah,
others for the most
because
part.
to my point earlier about the level design was that like it's not this big ball of spaghetti anymore. It's like 5 really small bowls of spaghetti with a big open area in between them.
Whether you find that to be a good or a bad thing is going to depend on what you enjoy about Metroid Prime.
For sure. Yeah. But the weapons all felt good.
Yeah,
like
this is like probably my second or third favorite Samus outfit.
Yeah.
Like
it's great.
That right there.
Yeah, it's really freaking awesome.
Really good.
Yeah. And in the end, like I still think that the motorcycle makes no sense in this franchise at all. And now that I've played the game,
it also kind of makes no sense in the context of the aliens. Like you're trying to picture these aliens riding this, and it's very funny.
Well, there's the one shot where the alien makes this projection in his hand, and he shows you all their old technology, and everything else looks like it fits, like crazy sci-fi weird stuff. And then there's a freaking motorcycle. It's just like, where the hell did you get an idea for that? But what I was getting at is while I don't think it fits with this franchise or with this property, it works great in the game.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine to play. It's not a bad gameplay element. It's just an incredibly strange thing to put in this game.
This scene right here, did you fight that yet?
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, you were. That is where I really noticed the surround sound, and this sucks.
Yeah, I couldn't tell where any of them were.
No, you couldn't hear the wolves behind you at all.
And the radar sucks.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I don't know where anybody is.
I eventually just got lucky and finished it.
I turned into a ball and just rolled
really?
around so they dodged them that way until the cutscene happened.
Interesting. That's one way to handle it. So yeah, there are times where it feels like a boss rush. It feels like you fight a boss, go through a few rooms that are really easy, then there's a mini boss, go through like 5 rooms that are really easy, there's a sub boss. Like that's kind of sort of the rhythm of the game.
Yeah, and then the sub boss becomes a regular enemy.
Right.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
It's
Metroid.
You know how it goes.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't get to try any of the amiibo stuff, so we'll have to rely on your.
It's all the same. I mean, the Samus one opens the music and gives you is that what gives you that?
It has its own tab in the pause screen, which is very rare.
Samus gives you opens the music, and once a day it supercharges Viola's boost meter. So like it instantly recharges.
That's the motorcycle, by the way.
It instantly recharges after you boost until you leave the open map. Silex, he gives you an energy shield, like a Halo style energy shield once a day. So like you basically get another layer of life on top of your existing life until you get hit enough to it runs out, and that's it. And you have to scan the amiibo
only once per day.
Once per day. And then the motorcycle amiibo unlocks. I think it unlocks a once a day thing, but I can't remember what it is. The main thing it unlocks is new colors for the motorcycle.
Okay.
For every certain amount of meters you ride on the motorcycle, it will once per day unlock a new color. And so so you scan it, and it shows like, it totals up your distance ridden and goes, and if it gets to the top, it unlocks a new color. You can unlock 1 color per day.
Okay.
So like the first one you unlock is color, like her various suit colors, the orange and red for the bike. Mm-hmm. So now I'm in the black and red suit riding the orange and red bike, and it's great.
The black and red suit is dope. It really is.
So that's basically what they all do. I believe all of that is available in the game, unlockable normally. Like if you maybe not the Silex energy shield.
Yeah,
thing.
I don't think I never got that. Yeah.
Unless
I don't think the arch enemy is going to give you a shield.
No, unless that's like a new game plus or something.
Yeah.
But like the music you can unlock on its own. I don't know about the colors.
Yeah.
The colors are cool. Like again, like I'm not gonna recommend you go out and buy a $40 amiibo for that. Because I got it because I think the suit's really cool.
Yeah.
And I still get the Metroid amiibos. Mm-hmm. But you can also just go get the cards.
Right. On eBay for like
bootleg cards for all the amiibo stuff. I have little things full of the Fire Emblem and Smash Brothers things. It's just like you just scan them out and it's like
instead of having the.
But I still get the Metroid ones because it's Metroid.
Yeah.
Metroid's my favorite Nintendo franchise, despite the fact that I like about 1 out of 3 of them in the last 20 years. So what are you gonna do? And
then kind of one of my final points is that this is a Metroidvania game, kind of. But
It was a Metroid game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Metroid is
not a
not
Metroidvania.
Metroidvania.
Right.
Like, there's a reason you had to combine Metroid
You're
and
right.
Castlevania, because those are two different,
It's true.
Symphony of the Night is a different thing.
Yeah. But there are still annoying runbacks in this game.
Yeah.
Where if you die against a boss, like they make you
Not
run.
Metroid Prime 2 run back, but run back.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some annoying checkpoints where, like, if you're fighting a boss, they'll make you run through this little area a bunch of times. There's one time where I fought a boss and, like, I had to start over and, like, go down a bunch of elevators to get back to him again. I was just like, come on, man.
I did that once, and then I realized there was a save room right next to the boss that I'd completely missed.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but not always. There's not always a
sometimes
save room
not.
there. Yeah.
And sometimes you go through and you finish a section, or you beat a boss or get an item or whatever, and you're like, okay, you just want me to walk backwards through the whole thing again? Like, there's no, like, little, like, Skyrim style, like, escape hatch, and
No,
like,
it's
no,
annoying.
just
You have
gotta
to,
walk
like,
all
go back up, all the way back up to
and
the
the worst thing is
elevators.
when you do that, and you're like, and there's a thing I can't use yet, so I'm gonna come back here.
Yeah,
later,
you have to
too.
come back again.
And it's
it's annoying. You fight all the way to the end of a level. You fight the boss and kill him, and you have to run all the way back. Now, one thing I will say is things change. When you go back, new enemies will spawn.
new stuff happens. Like they don't just like let you walk through nothing.
That is another thing that gives me the Metroid Prime vibes in this game. Like, it has that secret retro sauce where, like, if you're going back through an area that you've already been through, and if you're doing the right thing, a little cutscene will trigger. And that's the game's messaging to tell you, Shane, you're doing the right thing. Keep going. Like, if you start paying attention to this game, when you start doing the backtracking and stuff, there will just
Which
be
is weird if your name isn't Shane.
Yeah, seriously. But, like, for example, like, you go to the fire area for the first time. You go there, you do a little bit of stuff, and then the game's like, you can't do anymore here. Leave. When you go to leave, this veil of lava falls down behind you, basically telling you, like, you'll
come back later.
Right.
You'll be all right. Don't come back.
It's littered with stuff like that. The messages, and I talk about messaging to the player all the time. This game does an astounding job of it. So,
although I know I can press the minus button
Right.
to get more information. After the 30th time you tell me that when I collect a new item, you can stop.
Yeah.
Especially because you inexplicably make me wait like 3 seconds before the A button prompt comes up to dismiss that text box. I swear to God.
Yeah.
What? Did no one in QA complain about this? Like, really?
Yep. Also, the other thing I would say, too, about combat is that, like, I do wish there was more variety. I wish they forced me to use the morph ball a little bit more. I wish they forced me to use the other abilities a little bit more. I feel like I could play through the vast majority of this game just using her blaster and charge up shots. And a missile here and there.
Again, that's Metroid.
Yeah.
Like, Metroid does not generally make you... I mean, I've never used the ball outside of, like, being tired of dealing with shit in the 2D games.
Getting
like,
away.
Bomb, 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 I'll get out of my way, you know? Or skipping stuff, like hopping over stuff. That's fine. Like, it's also funny that, like, I don't mind the backtracking so much into the 2D ones.
Me either.
And I'm not sure what
because the level
is.
design is different. It's all right there. In this, you have to leave the level, ride on the bike 15 miles across the desert, and then go to the other area. It's just not all together in one place. So it's just kind of disparate and spread out. So it'll be... I think this is sort of like the test bed to see if they want to turn Metroid into a Zelda-like open-world game.
I mean, there's something there. Like, if you had a more interesting open area, it would be pretty cool. Like, there's something there.
I agree, yeah.
Also, if you really want me to use a vehicle as Samus, let me fly her ship. Let me fly her ship between different planets in this one system that the game takes place.
I should be able to fly
in
the
or
ship.
something.
Also, the ground vehicle should just be a little hovercraft or something that fits the IP.
Honestly, you got them. They're sitting right there. It's the R-Wing and the tank from Star Fox.
Yeah.
Like, those are your options there. That's what we should be doing. Just make them look like her helmet.
Yeah.
And we're there.
It's good.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's all I would say. It's
game's not all that long. It took, I don't know, probably 12 or 13 hours to finish it, something like that. I will recommend that once you get towards the end game, you should duplicate your save so you can play through the end game multiple times if you'd like to. But it's not an extraordinarily long game. As far as replay value is concerned, there's maybe a little, but not a ton.
I mean, it's like all Metroid games.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll forget a bunch of it, and you'll want to play it again, and,
Yeah.
and go back through it and have fun.
And I think maybe the replay value is going and getting that 100%.
Yeah.
Where you go back and get all the missile upgrades, all the...
Like, oh, you didn't scan the back of the doorknob after the second boss, and that's the only time you can get that, and now you have 99%. You know, it's like,
You're right, though. I mean, there is stuff like that in this game, for sure. So it feels like...
that's in all of them.
Yeah.
That's just Metroid.
It does feel like this game has 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the future, and it's just kind of straddling this line.
And there's something to be said for that. I mean, you could say pretty much the same thing about Expedition 33.
Yeah, that's true.
But, like, there's a way to synthesize that feels like something...
There's a good way to do it,
yeah.
and there's a not-so-good way to do it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say this is not so good so much as just not
as successful.
Not super inspiring.
Yeah.
I would probably say it's the second best Prime. I think it's definitely better than 2. I don't like 3 very much because of the motion controls, so I'm kind of not... Unless you also hate motion controls as much as I do,
Yeah.
I'm not maybe a barometer on that. But I think this is about as close as they've gotten to kind of recapturing the magic of Prime 1.
Yeah.
But Prime 1 is a head and shoulders better game than this. Still, I mean, having just replayed the remastered version last year,
Yeah.
Prime 1 is still one of the best things ever made.
For me, I'd go Prime 1, Prime 3, Prime 4, Prime 2. Prime 2 is hands down my least favorite Metroid Prime.
I like 2 okay in retrospect, but I feel like if I played it now, I would be annoyed by it.
Maybe. It annoyed me the first time I played it. It's probably one of the most disappointing games I've ever played.
It is definitely... It's definitely from great to good.
It's right up there with Devil May Cry 2, where it went from, like, amazing action game to, like...
I wouldn't be that mean.
That's a little extreme. You're right, that's a little extreme.
Devil May Cry 2 is one of the worst sequels ever made to anything.
Yeah. I was just that disappointed in it.
Prime 2 is just very uninspired compared to its first
well
one.
crafted and everything. I just didn't like the way they designed it.
No, I mean, again, like, you can't really argue that they didn't execute the corruption and, like, all that stuff correctly the way they imagined it. It's just...
I just didn't like it.
Fun. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's very fun, but
Yeah.
I still like it better than fucking Wiimote shit.
See, I thought that was one of the few Wii games where it actually made the experience better.
Like, I get it, but I just don't. It doesn't do any. It just all I'm thinking about is waving this stupid fucking thing. I'm not thinking about the video game at all, which just takes me completely out of it.
I really like the mechanic of ripping the armor off enemies. It felt really
that's a really cool idea.
Good.
Would just let me use the stick for it.
Yeah.
I don't need to wiggle my arm around.
And to be fair, I did not use motion controls in this at all. Like, you can set it up like the other control scheme. You can set it up so that you can fine tune your aim. And I usually do that with like motion control games. I did not in this one, and maybe that's part of my problem. I don't know, but it did take me about.
I mean, if you
an
want
hour.
to play it like an FPS, it feels like using the gyro controls would probably be the way to go.
Yeah,
because it is so precise and finicky about that kind of thing.
I've played a lot of 3D Metroid, and it took me a good hour and a half to really start feeling comfortable in combat.
And I still press the wrong button to I turn
to
into
turn
a ball.
ball.
I turn into a ball when I want to go into scanning mode, and I go into scanning mode when I want to turn into the ball. Like,
I've done it too. Yeah, I think everyone's gonna probably do
and
that.
some of that's because it's like all the times they're popping up a prompt. It's like press X. I'm just like, oh, X is here. No, X is there on a Nintendo controller.
It doesn't help
for some reason.
B&A sometimes I still like my brain is just like, no, like that's not the A button.
Like, part of me respects Nintendo for refusing to
like,
fall
nope.
in line on that. It's just like, nope, starts on the outside, goes on the inside. It's how it's always been. Like, okay.
Yeah. But look, overall, I did really enjoy my time with Metroid Prime 4.
It's good.
It's not as good as I thought it was going to be. It's not the game that I drafted the last, 4 years of our fantasy league.
No.
Assuming it was going to get a 9.5 or higher. In that way, it's definitely disappointing. But it's still a really fun game. It's probably the best-looking game Nintendo has ever made. It's definitely the best-looking Metroid game, without a doubt. And so I think if
the only Nintendo game I think comes close to this in terms of visual fidelity is Pikmin 4.
Probably.
And there's something to be said for Luigi's Mansion 3, but it's such a more simple art style that it's hard to kind of...
It also cheats. This game cheats a little bit too, because it just loads in these small sections of the world at a time, and so those doors that you see that you shoot, that's actually loading in the next area.
Which has always been what Metroid is doing. And it's been a little more obvious in Prime 1. We could sometimes outrun them.
Yep.
Be like, oh, I see you.
Yeah.
But again, and also not just like the environment and the size of thing, but just like the detail on all the characters, the detail on the creatures, the detail on the little.
The enemy animation in this. That's the other thing that this game returns from Metroid Prime. That is just like best in the industry. Still Retro. Again, the tech dudes at Retro are still top shelf, man. Like these guys, I can't believe what they got. And this is like a multi-straddling game with Switch 1 and Switch 2. Yeah. Imagine when they just make a game that's just for Switch 2.
Yeah. Well, you can see why this got pushed to Switch 2.
Definitely.
Like, yeah. You eventually, I'm sure they got this. I mean, clearly they got it running on the Switch 1 just fine. But there's a point where you're like, yeah, you want to showcase this on the new hardware.
Absolutely, and it does.
Because running, I mean. You're running this in quality mode. It runs a 60. It looks incredible.
I played in quality.
Yeah.
I don't need 120.
120. It's nice.
Like overkill.
It's nice that they have that for you, but it's like
it's only 1080p. I'd rather play in 4K 60.
Yeah,
yeah, which I did, and this game looks stunning.
No, this is one of the best looking games of the year.
It really is, and it's a Switch 2 game. So it's good to see Retro still has the chops to make good looking games. But now let's talk about the future of Metroid, Matt, because first week sales just came in for this in the UK. It was outsold by Mario Kart World and EA Sports FC 26.
Yeah, but it's doing fine.
You think so?
I already looked it up. Christopher Dring already reported on it. It's down 15% in physical sales compared to Metroid Dread, but that's to be expected because
no one buys physical
sales are not as common anymore. In Europe, it's down 15% versus Metroid Dread physical. So I think it actually probably did fine for a Metroid game.
Okay. Because I'm a little concerned that maybe we never see another one of these.
I mean, we've said that for every Metroid game since Prime 1.
And we just did have to wait how long for this one?
Yeah, but some of that was some weird thing where they gave it to Namco and then like all that. I mean,
they worked on it for 2 years.
A lot of the delays on this one were not because it's Metroid, but because they made some management choices that were not maybe the best choices. And in the meantime, we got two more Metroid games from Mercury Steam. It's not like they're not putting Metroid out.
Yeah. So I think we'll always see like 2D-ish Metroids. I think that'll always be a thing.
I would hope
Metroid
so. I mean,
Prime, though, I'm not 100% sure.
I think we will see another Metroid Prime.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think we'll get another Metroid 2D.
I want to see where this is going. This is the first awkward step towards what this franchise is going to become. I hope they get a chance to show.
It's also, I think, I find this to be a more interesting... Because clearly... I feel at this point you cannot reconcile the Prime games with the mainline series in terms of timeline. Like, clearly this is a different... series
for sure.
Because she's post Fusion, Samus is never the same again.
Yeah.
And so I guess all this could take place sort of between like Other M and Fusion,
right?
But like, come on,
yeah.
And this is a more kind of traditional style version of her. I like Fusion. I'm not a Fusion hater. Like some people just really hate Fusion. I actually don't like that she's kind of permanently like bioorganic and all. I don't really dig that. I appreciated that in Metroid Dread, the first thing that she does is like, I'm gonna like make myself look like I used to look. Cause fuck this. And I'm like, I'm gonna give myself the shoulders. I need the shoulders. Now I hated the stealth stuff in that. So like I hope they move away from that. Like Dread might be my least favorite Metroid of all time.
I mean, I think it probably is for me.
I can't think. I mean, maybe the Game Boy version of 2.
It may be the only Metroid game I didn't finish.
I finished it.
I did not.
That last boss sucked.
I never even fought it.
It was a hard fight.
Was it? I'm not surprised.
And like it was a hard fight because I didn't spend my usual time finding everything because I wanted to stop playing.
Yeah.
Which is again very sad to say about a Metroid game.
I never finished it. It's the only one I've never.
But
finished.
I love their Mercury Steam's remake of 2.
Yeah.
Like I think that's fantastic. I want to see more from them. I just hope they don't ever do anything like that again, like the Emmy shit again. Like I mean,
I agree.
So like, I'll totally take more of that. I will take a Metroid Prime 5 from Retro any day of the week. Keep going. I'll watch the Metroid movie. I'll write and direct the Metroid movie if you want me to.
Retro still got the chops. That's the one thing I've taken away from this game is Metroid still, or Retro still has the chops.
Which is crazy because it's like they don't do anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Much of their stuff gets canceled.
They could have lost half of their staff. They could have lost their engineer. Like, they could have lost everybody. They have made a game for frickin' ever. They kept the people. They still got the skills. So, I hope they get a better designer in there for the next game. But I have a feeling that this is them tiptoeing towards what it's going to become.
Yeah. Or who knows what happened in any of this.
We'll never know. Especially because it's Nintendo, and that's just not how it happens.
I will say, I already told this to you when you got here, but I do think there's that famous story that the Retro people have told about when they were doing Metroid Prime 2, and they wanted to put in a mechanic where you could get bounties from like a terminal and hunt people down and like capture them and turn them in for power ups and stuff.
She's a bounty hunter.
Because she's a bounty hunter. Samus is a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And Nintendo Japan saw it and was like, no, you can't do that. She would never do that. Why would she do that? And they're like, because she's a bounty hunter. That's what bounty hunters do. And they're like, no, that's not. It's not. And I was like, do you not know what a bounty hunter? And I looking at this and like kind of like playing for some reason playing this game, I'm like, did they mistranslate? I mean, I think she's called a bounty hunter because Boba Fett.
Right.
Because at the time, she's in cool armor, so Boba Fett was in cool armor, and everyone, Boba Fett was a bounty hunter. That's what this action figure said. Boba Fett, bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Bounty, if you translate it literally, does mean money or fortune or treasure. I think they intended her to be a treasure hunter.
Like Lara Croft.
Like she's supposed to be like Indiana Jones. And that's why she's hired to go into the planet Zebes or whatever and find what's going on with these Metroid. Because she delves into these ancient ruins and solves these puzzles and finds these valuable... She's not a manhunter.
It kind of checks out.
She's a treasure hunter.
Because think about all the artifacts that she finds in Metroid Prime games,
and she specializes in Chozo. Like that's what she's not a bounty hunter. She's a fortune hunter.
That's hilarious.
It was just a mistranslation. And like the first time they ever encountered what an English speaker would think a bounty hunter was the poor retro guys trying to make her capture people. And if you think now, it's like if someone was making an Indiana. Imagine if you were like. Somebody's making an Indiana Jones game, and you went to check on their progress. They're like, we added a system where he can like hunt down wanted men and hog tie them and drag them to the cops. And you're like, no, Indiana Jones doesn't do that. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Like you just tie him up with a whip and like drag him to jail. And it's just like, no, that's not what that character does. Like that. Like what an amazing miscommunication is all I'm saying.
I see JM59854 says that, he grew up in Erie, PA, and went to IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. One of the best men in my wedding went to IUP, and is from the Pittsburgh area. Let's see what you guys have to say about Metroid here. As always, go at SIFTD Games so we can find your questions. Vincent asks, is this the best game that was in development hell for a decade? I guess it's competing with The Last Guardian for that honor off the top of my head. Well, we did mention earlier that this game really hasn't been in development that long because Nintendo did try, which is just stupid, that Nintendo tried to let a studio under the Bandai Namco banner create the game. The irony is they just actually bought that studio for less than $1 million, which is insane. And they're a support studio. They had worked on a couple of Nintendo games. They tried to hand Metroid to that studio. Couldn't do it. Then they handed it back to Retro.
Especially weird considering the outcome of handing Star Fox to Namco.
Right.
Back in
which
the day.
also was a complete disaster. So I don't know why Nintendo tries to...
the project has clearly been in development hell in the sense that like they've started over a couple of times. I mean, KOTOR 1's remake has started over at least once, and we're still going to call that whole block of time.
And what was that Wii U fighting game that Namco Bandai made for Nintendo? Was it a Pokemon fighting game or something?
Oh yeah, Pokken Tournament.
Yeah, that's another game that they made for Nintendo.
I didn't.
Terrible archaeologist. She blows up all the roads.
I mean, I didn't think Last Guardian was all that good.
But to Vincent's point, though, this game hasn't been in development for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah,
and the game is only like 12 hours long. I mean,
that doesn't have any relevance to anything.
You have to build that content. That takes time.
But like the length of time it takes to develop something doesn't necessarily translate to how long the game is.
Well, I'm trying to figure out like where did their time go? Because they didn't have to build a bunch of levels to make them all look great. They built less and made them look better.
They had to fine tune everything and level design. I mean, I'm sure those levels went through endless iterations.
that big desert didn't design itself.
Because think about how many masters you're serving with Nintendo and how they got their own ideas.
That really could be what happened with this game.
I think that's what happens with every game. Yeah. If you're developing something remotely for Nintendo, I think that is what is the biggest time sink, is trying to please the home office. I don't know. I'm trying to think about other development hell games that turned out well, and there's actually not a ton of them. I mean, we just had Bloodlines 2, which did not turn out to be amazing.
I actually really enjoyed that game, but it tanked hard.
It's not... obviously I don't care if it tanks or not, but I would certainly not put Bloodlines 2 on the same level as this game.
Zet Saber says, next game, Samus is filling out paperwork in a cubicle for her bounties. Sub Sam Jam says, I do wish the Emmy zones looked more unique to the areas.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like going back to Dread and like trying to backtrack through stuff, it's so hard to know where you are because all the Emmy sections look the same, which is bizarre because they're in areas that don't look the same.
Yep. Lots of people like Metroid Dread. People saying that.
Yeah, well, that's their problem.
Swan Senpai says it's the best Metroid.
That's ridiculous.
Come on, Swan Senpai. Prime is definitely early in the timeline, Swanland says. Vincent says, I thought Prime was an alternate timeline that takes place between 1 and 2.
I don't think Prime can be between 1 and 2.
I think it's just, as Matt said, I think it's its own thing. I don't think it fits
its own thing. Like there have been like weird attempts to kind of mash it together, but Prime is very clearly a different thing. Because I think Super Metroid happens pretty quick after 1, and then Other M happens immediately after Super Metroid. Other M is worse than Dread. Like Other M is worse than Dread. Like I can't.
Yeah, actually,
I can't say Dread is
I think
worse
actually
than
you're right.
Other M.
I think they're close though.
Honestly, I forget Other M and Federation Force exists.
I'll say this,
and I don't count Federation
Force.
Force.
I did finish Other M, and I did not finish Dread.
I finished Other M. I finished all of them.
Like, I didn't finish Dread.
They're fine. I mean, I don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, Other M is just embarrassing more than anything else.
AJ the Legend says, do you think the empty world is a creative decision to give the player a sense of isolation, or a result of the developers not having the additional content to place in the open world?
I think that's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I
think they're inexperienced as well with working with,
and it doesn't really create a sense of isolation to me in the same way. Like walking slowly through ruins by yourself is different than riding a badass motorbike through the it's like oh, I feel a little lonely, but I'm about to do a sick jump. Like that's not the same experience really. It mostly feels like they had an idea for it and they kind of did the best they could with the time and resources they had, and it just didn't come together the way they maybe envisioned it. Also, like I think little tweaks would take it somewhere higher. I think the fact that like you're constantly running into stuff you can't access yet because you don't have that upgrade yet and you have no idea where that upgrade is or how long it's going to take to get to it. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, well I need the ice thing to unlock this. So I see a snowy mountain over there. I'm going to ride to that snowy mountain. And you get there and you go in, and it turns out you can't get into it without the fire thing, so you go back to the fire mountain.
Then you go to the fire thing,
and then the fire thing takes a long. You got to get out of there, and you got to go back to the home base, and now you don't remember where the thing you wanted to get into originally was. And to its credit, if you look at the map, you can highlight the different things on the map, and it'll tell you like this is locked with this, and you need to use this to open it. So it is very communicative about it, but it's just there's no satisfaction to that where you find a thing and you can't do anything with it, so you got to come back later and like. I don't know. I'm not a big advocate of how the modern Zelda games depict things and do things. I think they need. The one thing I will say about Metroid, at least they have dungeons. Yeah. Like this game remembers that it needs to be a Metroid game first. Yeah. And Zelda kind of forgot that.
It's true.
But like at least when you come across something in the world of Zelda, you can generally interact with it somehow beyond like, nope, Link doesn't have the electric sword yet, so you got to come back later. It's like. Yeah. That's not,
I mean, older Zeldas were kind of that way.
They were, but it took a lot less time to get from
Well, they also designed the levels. It's like, also, hey, you have the hook shot now. Now here's a whole level where you use the freaking hook shot.
Right.
Like,
also, and sometimes they get a little too, like, Skyward Sword, I think, went too far on that, where it's like, oh, you got a new item? The next dungeon is entirely that item. And now you will never use that again. Except for, like, 4 secrets. Yeah.
That's
but,
true.
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's also Zelda has fast travel. Should really be emphasized once again.
That should definitely be in the next game, the next Metroid game. Out of Body's Way, thank you.
Let me teleport between the save stations or something.
Something. At least you should at least be allowed to teleport out of the freaking dungeon back to the dungeon entrance. Having to run back through that to get out is just idiotic. Like games just don't do that anymore.
I saw someone who's like, well, if you can teleport like that, why don't they just teleport back to Earth? I'm like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Like.
Exactly.
I can drive to the store. It doesn't mean I can drive to England. Like,
it's real.
They're two different transportation objectives. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Erebus Jones says you can buy RF tokens on Amazon for about $5, and then use your phone's RF reader to copy Amiibo to them, and it saves you buying the plastic. Yeah. And saves the plastic from going into a landfill someday.
I mean, I wanted the plastic. So.
Yeah.
But if you don't want a slightly larger than it probably needs to be Samus on the bike amiibo, that is definitely the option. I mean, that's what I do with all the other amiibos for the most part.
Andy T. Monahan says, one advantage Tears of the Kingdom have is even without specific equipment, you can think of alternative creative ways to access new areas. Yeah.
Yeah, which I also don't really like.
Yeah,
but,
which was, I found to be a pain in the ass.
Well, I feel like it's like, you know, my constant example of that is that giant tower with the treasure chest on top of it, and I kept trying to think of ways to glide to it and climb up. Maybe I need to climb here. Do I need another item I don't have yet? Do I need an ability I don't have yet? And the answer turned out to be just glue a bunch of 2x4s together and lean it against it like a giant ramp. And I'm like, fuck you. like what a non-inspired, non-magical way to solve that. Like in a series where things fit together like a perfect puzzle,
yeah.
And now it's just like build a ramp and just it's all stuck together with like fucking green cum goo and just like it's like a solution a 5-year-old would come up with. It's just
I usually look for the solutions that a 5-year-old could come up with.
I just try
to figure out the easiest way. It's like,
I need
to get up there.
Wonder out of
I'll just attach a bunch of trees together and create a ramp that's like 8 miles long. Like, I wasn't getting fancy with it. I'm just like, how do I get up there?
Like, it would be one thing if that was a way you could do it, but that's how you're supposed to do it. That's my problem.
Yeah.
It's not like if you want to circumvent it, like, you can build a giant ramp and like be a dork about it. Like, awesome. Like, I'm into that. But that's actually the way they intended you to solve that problem. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm out.
Commander Fett, we already talked about the $30 amiibo earlier in our discussion, if you're wondering.
Actually, I think it's, the $30 one, because the one, you'd think the thing that unlocks the music on the bike would be the bike, but it's actually the standalone Samus.
That's funny.
The bike unlocks the colors of the bike, Samus unlocks the music on the bike, and Silex unlocks a shield.
Hey.
And every time you scan Silex, he will taunt you a different way.
Oh, really?
Like you get the thing, and then he's like, "I've got you right where I want you." I'm like, "Thanks, character whose name I forgot until I saw the trailer for this game, because that Metroid Prime Hunters is completely forgettable." I saw someone who's when that first trailer came out, they're complaining that like they thought that Nintendo had shot the whole game in the foot because people hate Silex so much that no one would buy the game, and everyone had to like very gently tell them like, no one knows who the fuck Silex. No one's going to not buy Metroid Prime because Silex is in the trailer. No one knows who that is. Yeah. I didn't even know who that was. I'm like, okay, it's just some other dude.
Yeah.
Like you could pull a gun to my head and try to make me name the other bounty hunters and Metroid Prime hunters, and I would just kill me right now. I'm not gonna get through this. Not happening. You've got me, Jigsaw. It's over.
Harvey Darby 1122 over on YouTube says, "I'm so glad to see Shane still at it. I really miss him from the old GT days." Thank you, Harvey Darby, for supporting me all this time. I mean, at this point, you've been checking out my content for like 2 decades. So thank you very much, Harvey. Appreciate it, brother. We're here every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern if you want to come back. And then finally, Erebus says that Zelda stuff, so like Scribblenauts, magic and idea, but in reality, you can finish every single puzzle using handcuffs and a vending machine. Yeah,
pretty much, just like real life.
But then you run into like your little niece or nephew, and they'll have worked out this elaborate thing.
Or like some of the
Couldn't you just do this? And they're like, "Oh my god!"
Or like the Lego game, like the Lego DC games, where it's just like Superman's invincible, so maybe just use him.
Yeah, it might be the good idea. Yeah. Well, anyway, there you go. That is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond for both Switch and Switch 2. I don't know. I struggle to tell somebody to buy this at $70. I do.
It is 70, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a giant Metroid fan, what choice do you have?
You're going to get it, yeah. But and if you are, I think you'll enjoy the game. But if you're kind of like a fence sitter who's like, I've kind of liked some Metroid, haven't liked others, I would probably wait for a discount. That will never come.
That'll never come. Or just go buy the Metroid Prime 1 remaster, which is
which is also a great game.
It's a great game, better game.
Same energy, yeah.
Same energy, same thing. If you want more, Metroid Prime 4 will be there.
Yeah.
I do hope they do remasters of the other two at some point. It'd be nice to have them all on the same system.
It would. Yep. I think that'll happen someday.
From what I heard, they've had remasters of all 3 of them ready to go for years.
Just waiting for the right time.
Waiting for the time when everyone can't wait to play Metroid Prime 2 Corruption again.
Exactly, which is never going to come. All right, it's time to move on. We're going to talk next about the Game Awards. So, are they Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday. So, we're just 2 days away from the Game Awards at this point. I mean, like it or not, they're one of the biggest days in gaming every year. It is. I mean, it's just the truth. The reveals that happen there, the people, the things that happen at the show are the things that people remember for years and years later. How many people knew who Joseph Fares was before the Game Awards? Probably not many. And he did make a point to make sure that people remembered who he was. But definitely the Game Awards have a lot of influence across the industry in general. And if you're just into video games, it's a pretty good night to just check out new games and reveals. So Matt and I are here to kind of get you guys hyped up a little bit for the Game Awards. We're going to share some predictions that we have. We're going to talk about where we both have two. Well, actually, I only have one now. We both have a couple general predictions about the show. And then we're going to go through like 3 or 4 different awards and try to pick the winners. And keep in mind, when we do that, we're not saying that those are our picks for these awards. So don't watch this and say, oh, that's Shane's Game of the Year or whatever. This is what we think the fans and the press are going to choose. And we'll get to that in a minute when we get to those awards. But first of all, we have 2 general predictions for the Game Awards. Matt, what is your first one?
I predict that despite all the hype around Expedition 33, they are still going to give out Best RPG in a sidebar offhand between trailer announcements without even any kind of stage presentation.
Matt, do you think...
And the excuse for that will be that it's also nominated for Game of the Year and any other stuff, so it'll get its laurels then. But I still think it's stupid that we never give Best RPG out as one of the major awards when RPGs are one of the major genres.
It's the biggest genre. RPG is the biggest genre in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
More specifically, action RPGs. But
well, obviously, the category they use like narrows that down more than what we would probably qualify certain things as.
I mean, trying to figure out why they place certain games in certain categories is a fool's errand.
Oh, the action game category this year is inexplicable.
But, I mean, I think the thing is Matt, is it kind of tips the hand of the awards. So, they won't, you're right, I guarantee you they will not show the award for Best RPG in the broadcast, or if they do, it'll be as they're going to a commercial and they'll flash it up on the screen or whatever.
Or it'll be like, oh, it's Expedition 33, and here's the musical presentation. There's not going to be an award element to it.
But I think what they're doing is they're telling you, well, those people are going to be up on stage at the end of the show to win Game of the Year.
But the other times this has happened has not been that. It's just because they don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because the awards are not the point of this. It's a giant commercial.
Although I think just today or yesterday, Keil put out some statement about how the hardest job for him is balancing the awards versus the game reveals. He said,
I can tell because he's terrible at it.
He said something along the lines of basically like, I leave a lot of money on the table by putting basically he said like every award that I put in the show is like $200 and some thousand that I don't make. So he's trying to say to people like,
well, you're the one who made this the excuse for it to exist. If you want it to just be a 3-hour commercial, I'm sure you could do that too.
He's trying to say like, there's huge financial implications with having, less reveals in the show because the publishers pay a crap ton of money.
Right, but the other financial implication is that people aren't going to watch it as much if it's not an award show because that's the excuse for it to exist.
It's an award show!
That's why the Summer Games Fest does not get the viewership of the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Because the awards are sort of some kind of stakes you've created. And if you want to air more commercials, then just make it 3.5 hours again.
Yeah. Well, for the record, Matt, I agree with you. I think that this is absolutely going to happen. I think they're going to give out Best RPG as an afterthought.
It's just silly because Best RPG should never be an afterthought, but especially this year when this is probably your favorite to win.
Yeah.
The whole thing, you should be in here giving them a chance to do whatever.
Build on it. Show them why it's Game of the Year. It's the RPG of the year. But see, that's the other thing, Matt, about this show in general is you start doing that, it never adds up. You can't say like, well, this is RPG of the year, so now it's going to be in Game of the Year. Sometimes the Game of the Year, you go back, it didn't win like its genre category, and you're just like, what? Like, there's all kinds of stuff like that in the Game Awards.
I mean, all awards have sort of, there's the old Oscar question about like if the Best Picture didn't win Best Director, how is it the Best Picture? Right? How is the Best Picture of the year not the Best Directed picture? That is a question that I don't really have an answer to.
Yeah.
But like, so even in like an actual legitimate awards show that cares about itself, they have those kind of contradictions. So it's obviously going to pop up in the equivalent of like, I don't know, the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards here. But whatever. It's just, you could make a stab in the direction of acting like you care about the RPG. The RPG award is the one that like confuses me of all the ones that get announced as like a sidebar, because it's the one that feels like it should not be, because it's such an important
again, it
genre.
is the best-selling industry in the genre. Or I'm sorry, best-selling genre in the industry. It's like, that should be front and center. Like, it should be the award right before the Game of the Year. Because that's going to tip the hand. Most Game of the Years are action RPGs. So you're kind of tipping your hand a little bit when you give out that
But they
award.
also don't nominate all the action RPGs.
Right.
Because RPG tends to be confined more to JRPGs and kind of CRPG stuff.
And then the action RPGs are sometimes in the action category.
There's a couple in the action category.
Sometimes in action adventure.
Only 2 games nominated for Best Action Game this year are games I would actually call action games, pure action games.
Yeah.
It would be Shinobi and one of the other ones. It's odd, but like, I don't know. Genre
There's
doesn't mean
Ninja
a lot.
Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden,
4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden 4 and Shinobi. Yeah,
They're really the
ninjas.
action games.
The ninjas flip out and kill people. That's action.
But there's a bunch of other nominees that don't match, and we'll get to that category. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So anyway, that's Matt's first pick. I'll share what my first pick was, even though it's already been proven to be incorrect. My first prediction was going to be that the big thing in the desert that everybody has been talking about for the last week was going to be Tomb Raider. And the reason I thought that, one, is because it's come out, and we'll talk about this later too, that Tomb Raider is going to be at the Game Awards. We got a message last week from Amazon talking about how it's going to unify the game character with like the pop culture stuff going forward. And then we find out this week that there's going to be some big Tomb Raider thing at the show. Looking at that thing with the alligator and like the ruins and everything, I was like, I think that's for Tomb Raider. I think it's this thing that like people are like, no, it can't be that simple, but it really was that simple. As it turns out, it was not that simple. It was for, is it for Divinity 3?
I mean, there's a copyright or trademark thing registered for Divinity, and it has the, there's the picture of this thing all lit up with the big like branches on it. That branches symbol is one of the things they trademarked in association with the Divinity trademark. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
And now Larian is saying it's not Divinity Original Sin, like in the last couple hours.
Oh, really?
But so who knows what it is? I mean, it's literally in that trademark thing for Divinity. So it's Divinity something.
Huh. Interesting.
Who knows?
But yeah, look at
maybe
this.
it's another action RPG, because I actually really liked Eco Draconis.
Oh, I haven't played that.
That's an old one. It's janky, but you get to transform into a dragon eventually. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I started looking at this and I'm like, this could easily be Tomb Raider. And then as they found, and we'll get into more details on what the Tomb Raider rumors are.
Honestly, it could be about 15 different things.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, it's like, well, everyone's like God of War, Diablo, and it's like, well, you know what God of War and Diablo don't have to do? Put up a mystery pillar in the middle of the desert to get people to talk about them. So
yep, that's true.
That's your first clue, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my first prediction, was it would ultimately turn out that thing that we just showed you on screen was for Tomb Raider. As it turns out, it is not for Tomb Raider. So, Matt, what is your second prediction for the Game Awards 2025?
Speaking of Joseph Fares, I think he will make some horribly inappropriate or over-the-line joke or reference or behavior or something in relation to the fact that Split Fiction is not nominated for Game of the Year.
Which is a bunch of BS.
Pretty weird.
I would admit, I think I'm on Joseph Fares' side on that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of with him on that one. I think this was a snub. I think this should have been one of the.
It almost feels like people are like, "You're there every year. Like, we need to give it to somebody else."
A little bit, but,
which is silly and childish, but
no,
it's the games industry.
I would definitely put this in there over Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
Or
Kingdom Come Deliverance
or
2.
absolutely Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Like, no question.
Yeah. But it's cooperative and, like, it's not as you have to have someone to play it with. A lot of people maybe didn't play it because of that.
They won Game of the Year last time.
I know.
It Takes Two has all the same issues, and it's not as good.
People may have just not been able to play it. Like, I had trouble trying to play this for a review, remember? Like, I struggled to find people to play with. So it could be that. I don't know.
If you can't find someone to play your co-op game with, you shouldn't be on the panel for this.
I'd agree. Matt, my next question for you, though, is this outburst from Joseph Fares, will it be impromptu, or will it be written into the script of the show?
I think it will be written into the script of the show, but he's going to do something that's unscripted. Like, he's going to
go off script.
Go off it. He's like, and you'll only be able to tell because Jeff will have that weird look on his face he gets when something goes off script and he doesn't know what to do. And he just kind of goes, "Well, that was something."
That's what he says. Well, that was something.
Wow.
You're right.
Only at the Game Awards, folks.
That's pretty pretty good. That's pretty much exactly what he says. Okay, I agree. Look, I agree that game should have been a nominee for Game of the Year, and it wasn't. And I do agree that Joseph Fares will be a part of something going on there. And this is an easy angle for them to use. I also think it will be written into the show. Mm-hmm. And you may be right. He may go off script.
I mean, I don't know if he's ever not gone off
and
script.
I mean, they may even tell him, like, if you want to go off script, we're okay with that. Mm-hmm. Like, there may even be, like, a wink and a nod there, like, where they're hoping there's a moment that they can go viral. Because that's what you're hoping for with these shows. Like, even if it's kind of bad.
You're hoping that you can expand beyond your audience of 140 million people.
I mean, seriously, though. When we were programming, like, the Guy's Choice Awards, the Video Game Awards, the Scream Awards, I wasn't the one programming it. I was working on the digital side of it, but I was in all the meetings where they sat there and tried to create scenarios where stuff like that might happen. They'll be like, hey, Holly Berry put out this tweet about this other actress talking about how she sucks or whatever. And so they would be like, well, when Holly Berry gives away this award, she's coming out to give out the next one. And there's going to be this moment where they they engineered it that way. So I'm sure Keely's he came from there. Mm-hmm. It was the VGAs. I'm sure he's doing the same thing. He's trying to engineer things that will cause viral moments to happen so they get the free marketing and advertising. Hopefully people will remember it then for next year's show. So anyway, I agree with that one as well. I think that's a good pick. And then my final and really only real prediction is that there will be a trailer for a first-party PlayStation game at the show, and it will not be Saros or Wolverine. So that leaves me with the second trailer for Intergalactic, first trailer for new Uncharted game, first trailer for Sony Santa Monica, first trailer for whatever Sony Bend is working on. So I predict that one of those will appear in the show.
Definitely won't be a new Uncharted, because I don't think they're working on anything like that.
I mean...
But Cory Barlog is working on something that isn't God of War, so it could be that.
I mean, why wouldn't they be working on an Uncharted game?
Because they still got to get Intergalactic done.
I think Naughty Dog's bigger than you think, though.
I don't think they are at this point. I think that's it's mostly all hands on deck on Intergalactic, get it done by the end of the PS5 era.
We'll see.
Because if you're talking about Uncharted, you're talking about a game that's 9 years away.
I don't think so.
Remember when you thought that Last of Us 2 was coming out in like 6 months when they put that guitar trailer out?
Yeah, but I'm not really thinking on this one, Matt.
Yeah?
No.
You think?
I'm just saying, Uncharted might be there. That's all. I'm going to leave it right there at that. So I think a big first-party Sony game will be there that's not Wolverine, although Wolverine might be there, but something besides Wolverine and
I feel like it's too early for more Wolverine.
You think? Because they did just show that first trailer, a month and a half, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah.
They just did that.
Yeah.
And you got a whole year to wait before you blitz that again.
Yep.
I feel like we don't see Wolverine again until probably like early June, early summer.
I think we'll probably get the first chunk developer walkthrough or something around not E3 time, something like that. And then from then on, I think you'll get the blitz. But yeah, I think you're probably right. I think the first part of the year will probably keep it chill. Then you got to consider GTA 6, and they're just in a bad situation there.
No, the GTA 6 heat will have blown over
by
that point.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I think I'm really excited for Wolverine, and I hope that it succeeds, so maybe we can get a sequel. So I think it's going to succeed. Everybody loves Wolverine. I think it may be top 5 Marvel characters in popularity, Wolverine.
Wolverine, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was number 1 or number 2
Spidey.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Before the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, I think Wolverine was definitely second fiddle to Spider-Man and maybe nobody else in the Marvel Universe from the 90s and early 2000s.
Yep.
Especially with the movies.
Yeah, Insomniac's choosing well with the characters that they're choosing for their Marvel
I am guessing that Marvel is the one.
You think that Marvel demanded?
Marvel tends to call the shots on what the characters are.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure somebody came to somebody about Spider-Man, but Wolverine, I don't know. I mean, Marvel needs to bring X-Men back into the spotlight because they spent so long de-emphasizing them while Fox had control of them. And now all of us, for a while the Inhumans were supposed to be the New Mutants,
right.
and they killed all the X-Men books, and Fantastic Four went away, and now they got all that stuff back. So now the X-Men and the Inhumans basically don't exist anymore, and the X-Men are coming back, and they're gonna start making movies out of them again in the Marvel Cinematic Universe post Secret Wars. So we got to make the X-Men cool again. And one of the ways you do that is you remind people why Wolverine was so popular in the first place. And then you make an X-Men game in 2030, just in time for the new movie. And Logan's your uncle, I guess.
This game looks awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It sucks we got to wait a whole other year for it, but whatever.
I'm also hoping that they get into kind of... I hope they let them expand kind of into more of a, Insomniac Marvel gaming universe sort of thing, because I think this is probably in the same continuity as the Spider-Man
Yeah,
games.
I would think so. Yeah.
And there's,
the Insomniac verse.
At some point, I would love to play one of these games where the Avengers aren't out of town. Like kind of bring everything together and sort of do some sort of crazy, I don't know, Operation Galactic Storm style thing with them.
That'd be cool. Yep. So anyway, there you go. Those are our general predictions for the Game Awards. Best RPG, not given on stage. My first prediction completely wrong. Joseph Fares will make a scene over Split Fiction, and then finally a first-party PlayStation game will be at the show. Now let's go through a couple of the categories. And Matt and I, along with you guys, we're going to throw it to you guys in a minute. So once Matt and I quickly discuss each category, we want you guys in the chat to select what you think is going to be the winner for the category. So first category. And also I should mention before we talk about this, just so you know how these are selected, and I actually wasn't aware of this, Matt. How this works is the voting is 90% the press and 10% the fans. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how they worked out that algorithm to get those averages worked into it or whatever, but that's what they publicly say. It's 90% the EICs at the various gaming publications. I used to be a part of that back in the day. Not anymore. And then the other 10% is the fan vote. So keep that in mind as we start figuring out who's going to win these. First up, Game of the Year. Or should we start at Game of the Year?
I don't know.
I think we should, because I think that if we work down, the genre awards will make more sense if we talk about Game of the Year first. So Game of the Year, the nominees at the Game Awards: Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance. Matt, this is a no-brainer, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it feels like Clair Obscur, Expedition 33 is just going to win Game of the Year.
It'd be a pretty major upset if it doesn't. I mean, at this point.
I can't really articulate why I think that's so. I mean, I think it's just been watching other journalists across the year on Twitter and social media, or watching or listening to podcasts and hearing them all talk about the game. It just seems like that's the game that I've heard the most positive response from the most journalists across the last 12 months. And it also, I should add, that this is the rare game. It came out earlier in the year, and nobody forgot about it. Mm-hmm. A lot of times what happens is a game comes out in January, February, March. It could be great. People forget about it. I think that might be happening in Split Fiction, honestly. Yeah. But this game is so good that it transcended that.
So good is not the term I would use there.
Really?
I think, not that it's bad. I think the reason this game has stuck so well is that the people who are these EICs you're talking about are exactly the right age to love this game because it reminds them of when Final Fantasy was good.
Interesting. Maybe.
It is the video game equivalent of all the ghost baseball players coming to play in the cornfield in Field of Dreams. It's like, oh right, this is what we loved about this. This is what when this was good. This is what I will. This is when I played Final Fantasy X, and it was the most amazing thing I ever played when I was 12. And now I'm playing this, and it reminds me, because Square hasn't delivered on that for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So here's this game out of nowhere with this Cinderella story and this small development team, scrappy French development team with this crazy idea on how to do this kind of genre and how to do this kind of story. Charlie Cox is the main character, and he doesn't even remember doing it. And he's out here being I don't know, give the award to the mocap guy because I was only in the booth for 2 hours.
Yeah,
everything around this game is the perfect kind of story for this sort of thing, and I think it just hits the demographic that are making the choices for that judging in exactly the right weak spot.
I also think it's just a really great game.
It is. It is a good game.
It's really good. The story is, I think, the best story of the year. I think, in my opinion, I just ruined one of our awards. But
no, it's not. Dispatch is. Dispatch is better than this.
I have not played all the episodes of Dispatch, that is something I'm trying to clean up before next week's show.
Dispatch is better, but it's good. I mean, it's certainly this. I think the story is probably and the art design are the strongest things about Expedition 33. The parry system gameplay got a little old for me after a while.
Still unique though. They found a unique way to sort of expand on the turn-based RPG.
I think it owes a whole lot to Shadow Hearts, which is fine because almost nobody uses Shadow Hearts as inspiration for anything, and more people should.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that this would result in a series of remasters of Shadow Hearts, because I would like to play those games on something that isn't a PS2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I like I like the sort of the fantastical dark fantasy French comic book thing that this thing goes for. So like that's exactly up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
The art style is amazing. Yeah, like,
what do you guys think? Let's check in with you guys.
It's honestly between this and Silksong. I don't think the other
Game
four,
of the Year from the press, you think?
I don't think the other four are in the same league as those two games.
Swan Senpai says, I don't get Dispatch at all. I found it very up its own arse.
I mean, that's kind of what Expedition 33 is, too.
E. Demon says the studio founder has said several times his inspiration was Shadow Hearts. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear to me, but I loved Shadow Hearts back in the day.
Yeah. So everybody, just very quickly, one word, just let us know which game you think is going to win Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Not our Game of the Year on SIFTD, but what do you think is going to win Game of the Year at the Game Awards?
Khalib Twilly, the good news is you don't need to worry about the Dispatch thing because it's getting completely ignored by the awards this year. So,
is it? Because it came out late.
It's got one award for best debut, and so it's
sucks.
never going to get anything else again.
That sucks. Let's see. Erebus says, I think Donkey Kong gets it.
Not a chance in hell.
Demon, which is the highest reviewed game of the year?
I don't remember.
Is it Donkey Kong?
I don't remember.
It's one of them. So if they put their money where their mouth is, then maybe it's Donkey Kong.
There's not a chance it's Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
It's Expedition 33 or Silksong.
And
I think you'd be crazy to bet on anything other than Expedition 33. Especially because
you
know all those guys are coming to this.
Mm. Rogerty says he changed your mind after your monologue and actually picked Expedition 33. Interesting. C-Note, Expedition 33. Is that Saber Hades 2? Tekken Master, Expedition 33. I mean, that is definitely the... Silksong, there's one. Vincent says Dispatch is in the final 5 of the player's voice. That's good.
So the people actually played it.
Yeah, at least it'll get some recognition, hopefully.
It's just crazy that it's not nominated for Best Narrative. Even if it didn't win, it should be recognized for that, and it can't be now because it qualified and it got nominated for things this year, so it's not going to be nominated next year. At least they remembered Indiana Jones came out after qualification last December, but, again.
Niall Singh says he's loved every Final Fantasy except 8, and I'm 38. I kind of hated Expedition 33. Interesting. Jose Reyes says Clair Obscur. That's definitely the most popular pick, for sure. There's a couple others sprinkled in, but the vast majority is Expedition 33.
Silksong is the highest reviewed.
It is. Interesting. What did that end net out at?
You'll have to ask Ethan.
I thought you might know because you've been calculating our fantasy stuff.
No, I haven't. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
Probably 92 or something, 93.
Rory says Breath of the Wild. Wait, Dispatch is definitely getting snubbed, but I'm curious why Dispatch greater than Expedition 33 story. Just curious. Why
I think
you
Dispatch
think
just executes stronger through the whole thing. I think Expedition 33's final act is not as good as the setup it gives you.
Emperor
but
Dread.
I'm a big person of like sticking the landing for something you set up as a giant mystery is very, very difficult. And so Expedition 33 gets some leeway in the sense that it establishes a really interesting question, and the answer is pretty good. It's not amazing. Dispatch, I think, maintains its quality from start to finish.
Okay. Emperor Dread says Donkey Kong, Split Fiction, and Silksong all got a 91, and Expedition 33 got a 92 on OpenCritic. Yeah, which is, I guess, different than Metacritic.
Yeah.
AJ says Expedition 33. Swan Senpai says it's sitting on a shelf. It's going to be my Christmas game. Vincent says that Hades 2 is the highest on OpenCritic at 94. Well, probably they didn't see that because I think those reviews may have went up like last year when it went into early access, maybe.
Yeah, Hades 2 is a hard one to gauge in that regard.
It really is.
Did it come out last year? Did it come out this year?
Yep.
Did we review it last year? Did we review it this year? Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like most people agree it's probably going to be Expedition 33. All right, next up, we're going to discuss Best Narrative, which is basically the best story. I already shared what I think, and we kind of talked about this already.
I don't see an option for this that isn't Expedition 33.
Yeah, the nominees are Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2. Fan vote might give it a little bump.
I did think that's probably Kojima's best story since Metal Gear Solid 2.
I agree.
I think he did a pretty good job with that one, and I am certainly willing to say when he wrote garbage.
Yep, we both are. Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Silent Hill F are the nominees for Best Narrative. And
Expedition 33 is alone in this category.
Yeah,
Without Dispatch nominated for this, like, there is no competition here.
I don't think there's any competition, but it is the Game Awards, and it is Jeff Keighley, and it is Hideo Kojima.
He doesn't have any pull on that.
I know. We'll talk. Well, in a minute, we may disagree about that, though, because I feel like he's done a little finagling maybe to help his buddy out.
I mean, it wouldn't super surprise me, but I don't think he would do something that.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to rig the vote or anything. It's how he's putting his games in categories where they might have a better chance of.
I don't think he's able to do that. Is what I'm saying.
Well, we'll talk about it in a second. But Best Narrative, I think Claire Obscure is going to win it. If Dispatch isn't in here, then
if it doesn't win out of those 5. Somebody's
drunk.
You better check you better ask Elon what he did with the machines at that point, because something's up.
Emperor Dread says Silent Hill F does have a very good narrative. It really does. I said that when we reviewed it. I was shocked by how brutal that game was. I do wonder if any of you folks went and played that game and got to the scenes I was talking about. I was like, hot damn, Shane was right. This is insane. Like, did you get to like any of the crazier stuff in Silent Hill F?
I don't think so.
No? All right. Yeah, but you're right. The story was way better than I ever expected. Does anybody think something besides Expedition 33 will win Best Narrative? Maybe that's the best way to look at it. And if so, just type the name of the game into the chat really quickly. F is disgusting. It really is, man. There's some moments in that game where I was like, damn, like you guys are not pulling any punches. It's really crazy. No one's punching in any other game title, so yeah, I think everybody agrees. JM Rain says, I played and got most of the endings in Silent Hill F. I loved it. Didn't feel it was fully Silent Hill, but I enjoyed the game. Yeah, I kind of said that too, that it wasn't really a Silent Hill game, but it was a good horror game.
I mean, I don't mind expanding what Silent Hill means.
Yeah, it's pretty restrictive the way it is right now.
Because we've proven that they can't really function within those parameters, so you might as well expand it a bit and make better games out of it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what they did.
Well, I guess you guys all agreed that Claire Obscure is gonna win Best Narrative.
I am honestly like baffled by how many nominations Kingdom Come got.
I know, me too.
Because I didn't find that game to be.
I think that might be the European press, sort of.
Maybe. But
Yeah, me either.
No,
I bounced off it real fast. Next up, Best Indie. This one I think might be hard to pick. Because there's no big money or big whatever involved in this. It's just all the little guys. Hopefully banging it out to figure out what is the best game. Here are the nominees. Absolem, Ball Pit, Blueprints, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is in Best Indie. Mm-hmm. Which it is. It does belong there. Hades 2 or Hollow Knight Silksong. That's a tough one, man.
It's hard to call without knowing who the judges are.
I mean, it's just all the lead editors from the websites.
I don't know these people personally or what they're playing.
Yeah, we don't know them like we used to, for sure.
So, hard to say.
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, like, you're probably saying Silksong or Expedition 33 there. The big Cinderella success story is Expedition 33.
See, this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, where it tips your hand. It's like, how do you give away Best Indie Game and then give it to Claire Obscure? Like, you're gonna know like who's gonna win unless you program the show in a smart way. So
except you don't, because anything can vote for anything. So it's like
But that's what I was getting at earlier.
Maybe
how,
you
like,
give
a game will win like Game of the Year, but it won't win like Best Indie Game or Best Action Game.
Or maybe they think Ball Pit epitomizes what an indie game is supposed to be
right.
better than a slick multi-million-dollar production.
Yeah,
it kind of depends what your definition or what your
literal definition of indie or the assumed definition of indie.
Yeah, is indie what indie actually means, which is independently funded, or does it mean like
smallish game, smaller budget?
Yeah, like there's an aesthetic to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It kind of depends how the majority of the people doing the judging panel answer that question, and I don't know how they answer that.
I mean, to me, if Claire Obscure does win Game of the Year, it should also win Indie Game of the Year.
Probably.
It should, logically, but it doesn't always work out that way.
No.
So what do you think will win?
I don't know.
I'm going to say Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Probably Claire Obscure, but I could also see them going in a weird, like, oh, like Silksong gets this one as sort of the consolation prize.
That happens sometimes.
For not, like for not being.
Because I really like that, and I want to give it something.
For accidentally coming out in the year where like another indie game ate its lunch, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It could be that. It could be Ball Pit for all we know.
Yeah.
There's no way. Or absolutely. I mean, all of those are very valid choices.
Mm-hmm. Blue Prince was huge.
Yeah. I didn't like it very much.
I didn't either, but it was
not
huge.
My thing.
People still talk about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it is going to be Claire Obscure Expedition.
I mean, that is at least the first category where I'm like, all of those nominees deserve to be there. I think, without any question. It'd be nice to see Absalom get some recognition, but like, it feels like Claire. If I'm putting $5 on an Oscar pool on this one, I'm probably putting Claire Obscure down.
Me too. Ethan says, I say Silksong. Cinetyke says, given the big hype, feels like Silksong is the indie pick. Interesting.
Silksong is definitely, but it's like, that's the thing is like, normally I would be like, yeah, Silksong is the indie thing. They came, it was just, Team Cherry's very small. They can do their own thing. But like, Claire Obscure's whole thing is being an indie, like,
smaller,
story.
Cheaper. You can make a AAA game that sells without spending a ton of money. Yeah. I think it does come down to how you look at it.
It also depends, I think, how they choose these things. Like, do they just cast votes and whoever wins the vote from the judges is the winner, or do they get together and discuss it?
No,
afterwards?
You send in a ballot.
You send in a ballot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, it just depends.
There's no group where you're together and someone might influence your vote.
It just depends how the majority of these people answer the question of what an indie game is.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. I agree. So we'll see. I think it's going to be Claire Obscure. We'll see. A lot of you guys seem to think that it's going to be Silksong. Vey Anord, thank you for subscribing at Tier 2 for 3 months. That's awesome, man. Thank you. Ethan CS, blind ballot. Yep, there's no discussion. They all just vote independently wherever they are, wherever they live. Okay, next up, Best Action Game. And this is, to me, where it starts to get a little funky. So here are the nominees for Best Action Game. Battlefield 6, Doom the Dark Ages, which everybody's forgotten about at this point completely. Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
So two action games, 2 first-person shooters,
and
an action and a roguelite RPG. All right.
This feels like the category where they put the stuff that didn't have any other place to go.
I mean, I feel like this goes to Hades 2.
Yeah.
It almost feels like Hades 2 is in this category, so Hades 2 can win something.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to pick from these, it would be Shinobi. But I really don't think... I mean...
That's a tough one for me to pick. And I can pick this because this won't like reveal any of our category because we don't do anything goofy like this.
Unless we do like 4 or 5 games that don't really relate to each other in one category.
Just call it that category.
Best,
the hodgepodge of nothingness category.
Best Game Awards category. I don't know.
Potpourri. Man, this is a hard one. I would probably, for me personally, I would probably go with Doom the Dark Ages. It's between that and Battlefield 6 for me. Hades 2 was too similar to Hades 1. It didn't just really like get me all riled up. It's a great game, but it was just wasn't enough new and interesting.
I mean, I agree with that, but I would say the same thing about Battlefield 6.
Yeah.
Although with Battlefield 6, it's more of a strength.
Yeah.
It was more like a couple ago, which is what we needed.
I think that's why I lean towards Doom the Dark Ages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because it did have a bunch of new mechanics. It had like that whole shield thing in it. But again, that game came and went and nobody cared. Mm-hmm. It didn't sell very well. Nobody talked about it. Like, it feels like we reviewed it on GameFace and it was never mentioned again on SIFTD.
I saw some people talking about it the other day about like, but they're like, is this game dead? And I was like, how can it be dead as a single player game?
Yeah.
Do they die? Like,
well, this is the toughest one. What do you guys think? Battlefield 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, or Shinobi Art of Vengeance? Which one do you think is going to win?
I just think Hades 2 being in there is a giveaway, is a tell.
I think you're right. I think my pick was Doom, but I agree. Hades 2 is going to win the category, I think. But what do you guys think? Let's see. Let me bring up the chat here. Gemu Yoronka thinks 33 is just going to sweep everything, which he may be right.
I think there's a good chance of that.
Cinetyke says I fell off Doom the Dark Ages. Surprisingly, thought I was going to love it, but no.
So did I.
Yeah. Joaquin Dragoon thinks Ninja Gaiden 4. I mean, there is the whole Itagaki thing with that, but I don't think that's strong enough to affect the Game Awards.
No, and I also don't think the people voting on this are old enough to
even
have
know.
had that attachment.
I agree, yeah. What else we got here? Hype train incoming! What are you talking about? No Gears Reloaded. No, we played that and reviewed it on here, but it held up okay, but it's not in the category. It's not in the same tier as these other games.
Mm-hmm.
Tekken Master says, I only played Ninja Gaiden 4. Heard good things about Hades and Shinobi. Case Money says, I got Doom as well. Erebus says, Doom is the game I enjoyed the most. Hades 2 most beloved there, I feel, from Tekken Master. And AJ says Doom. So it looks like it's kind of split down the middle. Thank you, JM Rain, for that's awesome. Perfect timing for the hype train. Well,
Somebody do something else so Shane can't see anything on that window.
Yep. I think that's it, though. Thank you, JM Rain. You're awesome, man. Happy holidays to you, brother. I hope you're doing great. You and your significant other, who I had the pleasure of meeting. Yeah, I think that's it. So it does feel like Doom the Dark Ages maybe had a slight edge there, but I agree with you, Matt. I think this was all custom made, so Hades 2 can take home an award. And it is great. There's no doubt about it. It's just weird when you put out a game and everybody plays it for a year, and then you finally put the 1.0 on it, and that's when we're supposed to like consider it for stuff, even though, for me, Hades 2 is about last year, you know? Even though I did play the final version or whatever. So, interesting category. And then our final one is most anticipated game of 2026. Now, you may think, Shane, that's easy. Obviously, it's Grand Theft Auto 6, but I don't know. Again, you got to remember, it's 10% fans, 90% the press. And here are the nominees. 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4.
That's rather hopeful.
Do you think Jeff maybe has some inside information there that
I think,
we're not privy to?
I think this is just made by dumb people.
Really?
That game is half a decade away. That game is years away. 2029 if we're lucky.
Why do you think it's on there?
Because they don't know better, I guess.
You would think CD Projekt Red would reach out to Jeff and be like, bro, no. Like, we want to win that, like, in 2026 or 2027.
Well,
like,
they can keep winning it every year for, like, 4 years. But they're not going to win. This is
well, the other thing is
GTA
the
6.
press is going to know, and they're not going to vote for The Witcher 4. They'll be like, that's not coming out this year. They're just not going to vote for it. Do you think the press will vote for Grand Theft Auto 6?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No question. I mean, my answer to that would be Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because Witcher 4 is forever from now. And which of the remaining 4, Wolverine is definitely the one I'm most interested in. If you were going to tell me, like, you can play one of these right now, I'd pick Wolverine. I
got to tell you, Matt, as somebody who runs a website and I get to look at all the data of what people are watching and reading and all that stuff, 007 First Light, to me, is the sleeper pick on this list. Our users are obsessed with that game. Everything we put up for it does huge immediately.
I think anyone who is dismissing First Light is not paying attention.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen a better match to the Bond license since Rare.
Yeah. As far as the developer with the concept.
Like it feels like I think as someone who likes those Hitman games, I think they basically have been in training for this for 20 years. So we'll see if that pays off. But I don't know if like that's enough to win this category. I mean, I think you're out of your mind if you don't pick GTA 6 for this in terms of a public-facing like situation.
Yeah, there will be a huge uproar if anything but GTA 6 wins. Or you could just say like, I don't believe it's coming out because it's coming out the end of the year. It's a little risky.
Yeah, I mean, there's already been talk that like it's probably going to slip.
Yeah, I've seen some of that. I don't want to read that. I don't want to hear that. I want to play that sucker.
Have fun with your first pick.
I know it's brutal, man. I've already started thinking about it. I don't know what to do. I mean,
you have to have it.
I have to take the risk. I have to do it.
It's just like Zelda.
I know.
You have to have it.
It's brutal. So anyway, I think the winner's going to be GTA 6.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think if we got to look at the voting, I think that 007 First Light might be a little bit closer than you think. And I wouldn't be surprised if 007 First Light votes higher than Resident Evil Requiem. Either.
Oh, I think Resident Evil Requiem is going to be dead last in this.
You think so?
If we were able to look at the voting.
See the voting?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because it's the most known quantity.
Yeah. Immortan Joe says Hitman is my game of the generation. Interesting. They just put up another thing with Eminem, like a celebrity target or whatever. It just keeps going and going.
Well, it's Eminem and Slim Shady, and you have to
kill
the real one.
That's funny. That's pretty
Fucker
clever.
won't stand up.
Will the real one please stand up? Tekken Master says GTA 6 and it jinxes yet another delay. LOL. Rogerty says hopefully it will not be a safe bet in generic, but I mean it's the Game Awards. Contano says I'm a 007 guy for sure. Yep.
Yeah, I mean I think everything on this list I'd be more interested in than GTA 6.
Oh really? Not
honest.
me. I'm really excited for GTA 6.
Like I'm not interested in GTA 6, but that list, actually, what's the fifth one?
Witcher 4.
No, the
Requiem, Wolverine.
Actually, I would rather play GTA 6 than Resident Evil.
Yeah. Really?
I would put GTA 6 at number 4 on that list.
Fair enough.
It'd be Wolverine, Witcher 4, First Light, GTA 6, Resident Evil.
I'm not going to share mine because that will ruin one of the categories for next week. So I'm going to abstain. But I think as far as what will everybody else pick, I think it's Grand Theft Auto 6. I think it's just too easy and too simple. Even though, again, there's the X factor of it not making it out.
The other X factor, I suppose, is the sure knowledge that Rockstar won't be there to like accept something.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want to turn it into something, you do pick First Light because you know IO will show up, or you know CD Projekt's going to be there or whatever. I don't know.
Red Fox 1980 agrees with you. Wolverine for him. So there's a Wolverine in there as well. And lots of people saying nice things about Hitman. Rogerty says, what was the standout feature in GTA 6 NPCs with ChatGPT/AI? We don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, that's half of the excitement about GTA 6 is we really don't know hardly anything about it.
I mean, if anything, if there is a valid use for ChatGPT, it probably would be simulating Florida Man.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably right. Yeah. So that's it. That's all we're going to go through for the Game Awards 2025. You have to tune in on Thursday evening and watch them for yourself. Maybe in next week's show, we'll come back and we'll look at these and see if we were right or not. I'll try to remember to copy and paste these notes into my notes for next week's episode so we can check in on these and see if we were right or not. But Game Awards 2025 happening on Thursday. Obviously, on SIFTD.net, we'll have all that stuff. As soon as it's in the show, it'll be up on SIFTD.net. You don't have to actually watch the show if you don't want to. And a lot of people don't. They just sit on SIFTD and just wait for the trailers to appear in the rundown.
I have stuff to do Thursday night, so I probably won't watch it. I'll probably just come back and watch all the trailers.
The big
later.
trailers, yeah.
Or I'll just pull up the YouTube video and just like put it on while
scrub through or just leave it in the background or whatever.
I mean, that's better because I can skip through all the hosted shit.
It's hard to skip through the commercials because it's hard to tell what's a commercial and what isn't.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, it's like, how do you tell which Dark Souls clone Asian mythology sword game is a commercial and which one is a world premiere? Seriously,
though.
It's impossible.
It's hard. It really is. But anyway, there you go. Those are our predictions and our Pump You Up preview for the Game Awards 2025. Time to move on. We're going to talk next about a game called Horses. This game...
Horses.
Yep. This game was banned this week on both Steam and Epic Game Store. Currently, the only place that you can buy it is at GOG. And the game is only $5. And I would argue it's probably only worth $5. It is I was talking to Matt before we went live, and I told him that the way I would compare this is it's kind of like films like Midsummer, but in video game form. This kind of avant-garde, surreal sort of take on horror. And this game is all in black and white, and it's made like a silent film. Like there's these little like screens that come up in between scenes that kind of set up the scene and whatnot. And this game is about a college student who goes to the country in the summertime when he's off school, and he goes to work at this farm for 2 weeks. And when he first gets there, he meets the farmer. There he is. And the farmer has him just doing normal stuff. Go and feed the pigs, go and feed the chickens, clean out the chicken coop, blah, blah, blah.
A little close, sir.
Yeah, they keep showing that scene over and over again. This game is set up as 14 days, and it's kind of designed with each day. And when you first start, you're doing mundane farming stuff. But as the game goes on and the days go on, he starts asking you to do things and exposing you to things on his farm that are disturbing. And basically what's been going on at his farm is that he has a stable full of naked human beings with fake horse heads on their heads. And he treats them like animals. And he expects you to treat those people like animals. And basically I guess the best way I could put it is it's an exercise in how much you're willing to tolerate. Being an accessory to what the farmer is doing. How far will you go to avoid awkward moments with the farmer? Will you give in and do the torturing?
I love the idea that like social anxiety versus like torturing people to death is an actual dilemma for like a millennial.
I know. It's like I don't want that awkward moment in my life.
Oh, but
maybe I should just torture people.
Do I want to cut this man's testicles off? But if I don't, then it's going to be real awkward at dinner. It's like okay, guys, I don't know, but this seems like a very Gaspar Noé influence.
Oh, I mean that's a good way to describe it for sure, without a doubt. But this is one of those games where it starts off, it's very unnerving. You know there's something going wrong, and then as the days start piling on, everything just starts unraveling until you are a participant in what's going on. But the rub in this game is, are you going to be the willing participant, or are you going to help these people who are being tortured and help them escape? Now there's one scene where you actually kind of see sexual assault, but there are two other sexual assault moments in this where they happen off screen, but you know what is happening. So
look, I just want everyone to back up a couple steps.
Yeah, that's the way this whole game is. Like it's an indie game.
They're all close talkers.
So there's the dog right there in the doghouse. That actually is not a dog. That is a human being with a dog mask on. And that's what this whole game is like. Like, he tells you to go feed the dog, and you go there, and you realize that's not a dog. That's actually a freaking human being in there.
Grr.
And but that's how this game is. It's just kind of like a walking simulator where the game challenges what you're willing to put up with, basically. Now, I will say this. I don't want to spoil too much for anybody who actually might play this, but there is sort of a catharsis in the end, I guess, is the way I would put it. It's not just like a downward slope to hell. Because some of these films are that way. Like, a lot of the films that are like this, there's nothing cathartic about them. There's no hope. There's hope in this. And so anyway, this game has been banned on both Steam and Epic Game Store. Good Old Games is still willing to sell it. Again, it's only $5. But Matt, how do you feel about that, about Steam? Now, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about a few months ago with the whole credit card processor thing, where adult games were being delisted from Steam because the credit card processors were complaining.
That's a very funny cut.
So there's similarities in that. How do you feel about this, Matt? I mean, obviously, sexual assault is something that...
Sure, but, like, I tend to be when it comes to like art and content of such things, my opinion tends to be like, if you don't like it, don't play it, don't read it, don't watch it. Like, that's the limit of And again, I guess it's up to Steam and Epic if they want to have this on their stores. Like, you can make your own curation decisions on your own private storefront. That's their right, whatever. This doesn't really seem super over the line in terms of the content I've seen from certain movies. And I mean, you can watch Midsummer or Climax or Irreversible on your average streaming service that covers it, and like nobody freaks out.
Just so you know, the pixelation in this is the game. This is not something I did in post-production. The game pixelates the naughty bits. But that doesn't change the fact that there's sexual assault in the game. And I wouldn't say that it glorifies it, but it does put the player in the position of whether they are willing to tolerate it or not. And I think that is the rub that has kind of pushed the storefronts to get it off the storefronts.
I guess. I mean, it seems like as long as you make it clear that that's in the game, people can make their own decision about whether to buy it or play it. It doesn't really look like something that would be worth your time for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it's a great game.
No.
But I mean, when you start talking about if video games are art or if they're not, is a video game that makes you think in different ways not?
I mean, is this making you think? Like, what is the thought here?
I don't know. Am I going to help these people?
I mean, it just seems like shock value for the sake. I mean, like a lot of those movies, it's just like, okay, what are you actually saying?
Well, it's more unnerving, I think.
Yeah.
And I think what the player or the viewer of the films does is you put yourself in that position, and you say to yourself, "What would I do?" And then with video games, I think it's easier to do that because you actually then have to do it.
I have a hard time taking this seriously.
No, I get it. No, you're right. I understand. But I mean, if you play the game at this moment, you're like, is this human that they're asking me to eat here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what this game is. It's just these moments where you're like, this is messed up. How would I react to this if it was really
it's clearly schlock to some degree, but it doesn't actually seem like it's poorly conceived.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there was a concept.
There's thought put behind the shot choices here. There's thought put, they licensed some B-roll of live action horses to put. I mean, it's not like thoughtless.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's a lot. It reminds me a lot of European horror films from like the early to mid-aughts.
And they're drawing a lot from, clearly there's Gaspar Noé here. There is some Fellini here. There's references to some of these like old art house films that like, pre-code stuff that like dealt with like things that you wouldn't think would have been addressed in the 20s and 30s, but were. And it is kind of inherently silly, but like, I don't know.
Some of the scenes in this start to get pretty serious. Like, I obviously was very smart about how I edited together the B-roll, but there's...
Like, do they not know that they could probably win a fight against that dude?
Oh, against the farmer?
Yeah.
Like, they just tried to... There's a whole psychology behind... Believe it or not, there is a whole psychology in the game behind that. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll say that eventually the people start coming to you, pleading to you. And I'm going to leave it at that.
All right.
But yes, they do. There is an attempt at escape.
There is at least like a point of view here. There is an attempt to make something here that I feel is more valid than all the weird hentai shit I see clogging up the eShop on the Switch these days. Would I want my kid playing this? No, but I also wouldn't want them seeing the Hentai MILFs 2 like banner on the eShop.
Right.
Like, so what's the difference?
Yeah.
At that point. At least this, they probably wouldn't understand what the hell they were looking at for half the time.
Yeah, I guess after I messed around with this game for a while, I couldn't understand why it was banned. I really am struggling to figure out.
Like, there's way weirder and worse shit on anywhere.
And again, there is sexual assault in the game, but it does happen. There's like one quick shot where you can kind of see something very quick.
There's an enemy in Silent Hill 2 that is literally a personification of sexual assault. Like that's not a new subject for video games.
So again, yeah, I'm surprised that this was taken down. It does feel like Steam recently has come under some kind of new...
Yeah, but Epic did it too.
Right. Well, Epic did it second. So Steam banned it first, then Epic followed suit like the next day. And I think it was actually on sale on Epic's Game Store for a while. And then once they realized it was banned on Steam, then they banned it. And you could no longer buy it on EGS. And then GOG stepped in to save the situation, so to speak. And again, this game's only $5.
Poland don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
whatever.
This is Eastern
That's
Europe.
nothing.
This is Eastern Europe, son. This is just like,
So, Matt, I think at the end of it all, talking about this game, I just feel like we're kind of on this slippery slope now where it feels like if a game is even slightly controversial that it may be completely infundable.
I never even heard of this before today.
I'm surprised because it's been a huge story over the last week online.
I haven't seen a single mention of it. Nothing.
There's stories up on SIFTD about it, and it's been all over social media. And
I've not seen a single thing on social media about this anywhere.
Interesting. Well, it's a thing. I wouldn't have brought it on the show.
I'm sure, but I'm just saying, I don't know why this suddenly alert.
I mean, it feels like
seems like a complete non-story to me.
Really,
in terms of like whatever prompted Steam to do that. It feels like not enough people were aware of this for them to take that kind of action. I don't know why this prompted that, and they leave all the other porn stays up. I just don't.
I mean, that's the
why
question.
This
exactly. But I think what it is it's showing that they have changed their demands of what's acceptable on the platform over the last few months. I feel like if this had come out last year, this wouldn't be a story, but now it is. And that's the story, that this is a story now, whereas before it probably wouldn't have been.
I guess my reaction to that is so what.
Yeah,
to some degree. Like,
well, I mean, if you care about games as art, and you're worried that the art is being censored and that they don't have the ability to make money from their art.
It's not being censored because the government's not doing it. So, but they can choose to curate their storefronts however they want.
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
And GOG can put it up for you, so it's still available.
I'm just saying it feels like the riskier things that push the boundaries of game content are being excised and cut out of the industry by the biggest storefronts, where they might have a chance to succeed, and then maybe those developers get to try something else with a bigger budget.
I mean, it's not like this was going to be a breakout hit or anything.
But that's what I was saying. Like, you got to start somewhere. You start this game, you sell it for $5, you make $100,000 off of it, then you have a budget for your next game.
Well, being banned by Steam is probably the best possible thing that could happen to it in that
regard. Well, that was where I was going next. Is it actually better that it got banned? Because it actually created interest in this game that otherwise may have just gone unnoticed. I
guess. I mean, it's just kind of shock value stuff, kind of like what a lot of those, movies do. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a matter of opinion where you think Gaspar Noé's movies are more artistically valuable than this, I guess, but they're not that far off either.
This scene right here, I had to cut short because it's just like, I can't show this very long. Yep. I was very careful. I definitely softened the blow of this B-roll for sure. Like, I cut out a lot of the worst parts. Like, this scene gets really bad, and I just showed like 5 seconds of it. Like, it definitely pushes the envelope. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, you do pretty equally horrible things to people in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to die that way either.
Mm-hmm. So. No, you're right. Yeah. I guess, to me, the story here is that, like, the standards are changing for what people are willing to put up on.
I don't know if this. I don't feel like that's what happened here.
You think that would have been banned 2 years ago?
Maybe.
Really?
But, like, I think the main thing is, like, they just don't want the smoke. Mm-hmm. They're just like, well, we don't want to take any weird national press heat over something this small and pointless.
Because Steam's going to make, like, $5,000 off of that game or whatever. It's like it's not worth $5,000 to lose our credit card processor. Yeah. That's the problem. I mean, I'm glad we have GOG. Maybe that's the answer, is you have the smaller guys like GOG who can pitch in and make sure that these games are available still.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what GOG always claimed to be. I feel like they've sort of fallen off that a little bit in recent years, where, like, it feels like there aren't really a lot of good old games left to put up, or the ones that they haven't put up yet just aren't going to happen. And
licensing or whatever.
Yeah, and they just become sort of another storefront where everything's slightly more expensive, but at least it's DRM free. And for some people, that's more important. Yeah, and that's cool. GOG has always been a pretty valuable side. I mean,
I agree. Yeah,
I mean, it's they've had a lot of financial problems. Like this year, they were reporting they were working at a loss in the first couple quarters. I think they've recovered since then. Yeah, but like GOG operates on a razor's edge.
It really does. His profit margins are slim for sure. I admire that from them though. Yeah. It's like, they're not trying to make every penny that they can.
No, I mean, obviously they make tons of money whenever CD Projekt Red releases, which is also owned by the same parent company, releases a game. Yeah. Because they make they don't pay royalties or profit to anyone but themselves off of that. So every copy of Witcher 3 sold on GOG is all money in their pocket. Yeah. So Cyberpunk was the same thing, and one day The Witcher 4 will be that too. Yeah. But in the meantime, you have to keep the shareholders happy in these huge years-long gulfs between big revenue spikes. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess this might be a boon to that. Certainly, people will pay attention now.
I'm sure they got a nice little bump this week of traffic from this, for sure. I think it gets morbid curiosity for a lot of people. I mean, that's why I played it, because it's not like I wanted to play a game with a bunch of naked people with horse heads. Right. It was curiosity. I'm like, wait a minute, what is it about this game?
That's how shock cinema works too. That's just that's just how it is. Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Again, I get that everyone's just standing out there, and it's weird that they're all naked wearing horse heads and stuff, but it's like, is it that weird? Is it that much more shocking than some of the stuff that happens like Outlast? Yeah. Like,
not really.
Outlast is a little more obscured and a little more, high budget. It's a little slicker, but it's kind of about the same thing.
One thing about this game is that the way it's designed with the daily thing, it is unnerving, because you kind of see yourself slowly being like shoehorned into this life on the farm, and you get to a certain inflection point in the game where you have to figure out, like, what are you gonna do, and what are the repercussions of your decisions or whatever. I do think that these games like this make you think about things that you don't think about in other games. I didn't think about anything like this while playing Metroid Prime 4.
Right, but also
that doesn't mean it's good either.
No, I mean, I think maybe it would be a little more effective if it wasn't quite so asset flippy.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it does feel a little like...
It's comical because it looks so janky.
Hacked together and...
You know, I don't mean to insult Gaspar Noé by comparing him to this, because Gaspar Noé is a lot slicker in terms of his presentation. If you've never seen a Gaspar Noé movie, I'm not going to tell you to watch one.
I'm not going to recommend
but
it.
But you're not going to forget it.
Yeah, you'll remember it. And you'll remember this game if you play it too, I promise you that. Maybe not for... You may not be too happy about that, but you will remember it for sure.
Oh, I will never...
And that's another part of art.
I will never forget Irreversible.
Right.
I'll never watch it again, but I'll never forget. I mean, I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things you don't need to do once, probably.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much all those films are that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch Terrifier more than once.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine watching Terrifier over and over
I guess
again.
I might watch it more than once if I was trying to learn how to do
Right.
that.
If I wanted to learn practical effects and things like that, sure. But as just a entertainment, no.
Yeah. Because there's also very little to it.
Right. It's like, why? It falls apart if you watch.
Basically an effects reel.
And
it's
probably
like
if you played this game a second time, it would also fall apart even worse.
It's like that YouTube channel Kill Count. And all
I haven't seen it.
I don't remember. It's the name of the video series. I don't remember if it's also the name of the channel. I think it's called Kill Count. But the name of the series is definitely Kill Count.
Oh, or they count deaths in games or whatever?
No, in movies. They just cover and kind of review every kill in a horror movie.
I remember it now, yeah.
And they sort of tally everything up. That Terrifier is kind of that as its own movie.
Yeah, it is. That's a good way to put it. So anyway, that game is called Horses. It's only $5. You can get it on Good Old Games. I would say, if you saw that B-roll, you're like, I get it, and you're not interested in any more of it. You probably got enough of it just from this. But I do think the larger discussion here is how games are going to be sold. Controversial games, can they be sold in the future? Is Good Old Games going to stay around long enough to keep being sort of the conduit for this stuff? There's no easy answer. And this is something that has changed over the last, year, really. So, kind of interesting to see
Just
the
go
shift.
watch the original version of The Vanishing. Spoorloo.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I think there's a similar vibe to that is a much more artistically presented concept.
Yep, I'd agree.
Take on the concept.
Yep. All right, we got to move on. Next, we're going to talk about something far more lighthearted than horses.
Light-horsed.
Light-horsed. Although I guess depending on your perspective, it may not be.
No, this is actually more important.
It is.
Industry-wise.
Yeah. The biggest news of the week is that Netflix has put in a bid to buy Warner Brothers for $82.7 billion. But here's the thing. It may not ever go through. Because Paramount is also on the hunt for Warner Brothers. And Paramount is in bed with our current president because it paid an extortion payment to the current president a month or so ago to get an acquisition to go through. So Paramount was trying to join up with Skydance Media, and the president went to CBS and said, hey, I'm not happy about some interviews you guys did on 60 Minutes, so you're going to pay me $16 million or we're going to go to court over it. Every lawyer, anyone who knew the law, knew that there was no chance that Trump would win that case. And so basically what happened was Paramount just paid the $16 million, and then their merger went through with Skydance a week later. And Trump already said that there's some I can't remember what his exact quote was, but it was something to the effect of this deal may not go through.
Well, because he hasn't chosen a side yet, because he hasn't gotten his offers from everybody yet.
Right. He doesn't realize how he can be enriched yet from
whoever gives. I mean, Ellison is probably already offering to do it. I imagine he's offering to, and I think somebody said he's offering to basically clean up CNN if they get control of it. They're putting in a hostile takeover bid of $100 billion. I'm sure that several thousand people were just laid off from Paramount are wondering where they suddenly got $100 billion from.
Some of our friends, by the way, were just laid off at Paramount not that long. There were still some people working there from game trailers. The only people that were still there were the people who just did the generic jobs, our post-production supervisor, our supervising producer, our line producer. Those people ended up staying at Viacom all this time after Game Trailers left. And I hired all those people as Game Trailers employees, and they all were there up until 2 weeks ago. Still.
So let me tell you what's going to happen here. And I'm not the only one to think of this, because I already saw some people talking about this on like videos put up this morning around. So clearly, I'm not the only one with this thought process.
Yep.
What's going to end up happening here, I think, is they are going to divide Warner Brothers up between Ellison, which is Skydance Paramount, and Netflix. Netflix is going to get the movie catalog, the studio part, and probably Warner Brothers Game Interactive, maybe.
Netflix would get the games part?
I think Netflix
said this morning that the games part is just like whatever.
But it would be part of the media part. Netflix is going to get the fiction. Skydance is going to get CNN and all the mass media, all the propaganda tools. Skydance is going to get the news and the
quote
mass
unquote
media, the mass media. And Netflix is going to get the movie catalog, which is what they really want, and the movie studio, and probably the TV stuff, but probably the games would come along with that.
Yeah.
Because I think they'd bundle that with that. Probably DC Comics would be part of that.
It sounds like
too.
neither side wants the games part.
No, I mean, you're just stuck with it one way or the other, but I imagine you would be bundling the game, Warner Brothers Interactive would be bundled with the movie studio.
That makes the most sense.
So I think Netflix would get that, and David Ellison and his Trump buddies would get CNN.
They'll take over CNN, turn it into Fox too.
Yeah, it'd be another propaganda network, basically.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
I mean, it kind of already is. He's already done that, actually.
Oh, they've definitely bent the knee already.
CNN is like
the only major.
Now.
The only major. I mean, CNN isn't that bad. Sit and watch how much worse it gets. I mean, obviously, they're not compromised the way CBS News is right now because of Barry Weiss or whatever her name is. That whole thing is.
It's all the media is bought now. It's
Comcast isn't. Comcast,
NBC,
Comcast, MSNBC, and NBC are the ones that have not bent the knee yet, and that, you'll notice they didn't put a bid in on this because they knew they couldn't win unless they did that.
Right,
they didn't want to do that.
Yeah,
so
they're the only news I watch anymore.
So Netflix has no issue with that, but like Netflix, I don't think Netflix really. It's very. I mean, I think Warner Brothers has like 4 of the top movies of the year. They don't need to sell. But Zaslav and all those guys want to get paid out. Like the whole point, this is vulture capitalism at its finest. This is, they came in to basically like devalue the company enough that they could sell it off, make tens of millions for themselves, and move on to the next thing they intend to consume like locusts. You could run Warner Brothers as a successful company. Like, it doesn't need to be sold to anybody. But this is what's going to happen one way or the other. Comcast was definitely the top. In terms of someone who wants to see it succeed as a movie studio and a creative outlet, Comcast buying it was the best option because at least we know Comcast can run a studio. Yeah, like they can do that. Netflix probably number 2, but not a great choice because Netflix doesn't believe in theatrical presentation. So this would basically become a streaming service, and that what you'd lose. You ever want to see a Mortal Kombat movie in theaters again? You ever want to see Harry Potter in theaters again? You ever want to see like anything that Warner Brothers does? Like, it would be the end of all of that. Like, they will put them into like theaters for like a week. It'll be like, Wake Up Dead Man, the Knives Out thing. It'll be in theaters for 2 weeks to qualify for the Oscars because they have a contract with a director, and that's it. Like, you won't see these things in theaters anymore. Dune, anything Warner Brothers. I mean, Christopher Nolan is certainly happy he's not under contract with them anymore. That's for sure. But like, and then third would be getting Paramount Skydance getting it, because Paramount Skydance is going to be a problem going forward. God knows what the fucking Star Trek show they're working on is going to look like, because I can't imagine a Trek show coming out of that mentality looking like anything other than a nightmare.
Well, this is a gaming podcast, so we need to talk about what's going to happen with all the game properties underneath this umbrella. Now,
absolutely nothing.
What do you mean?
They're going to get buried and forgotten about until someone remembers that, oh yeah, we have this, and they'll either sell them off or they will dissolve them.
So you think it may go away?
I think it will absolutely
games.
go away.
So do you think then that whoever ends up owning the IP will then just license stuff out for third-party publishers?
I doubt that will be lucrative enough for them to care about.
So do you think they'll sell the IP for games? You just think we'll never see games based on Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat?
Well, Harry Potter's a license, so Rowling could take that somewhere else.
Right.
Theoretically, they would want to make Harry. I mean, you'd think that they'd already be working on a sequel to this because it was but where is it?
Well, they're working on it.
But that's going to be delayed tremendously because of this.
That's what
transition.
I'm asking. Like, according to you, that'll be canceled. They won't make it.
I would say there's a non-zero chance they just shut down the whole interactive division. Yeah.
That would be so stupid. Why wouldn't you sell it?
Because
you can sell it for
because they want to make billions, not millions.
They'll make $1 billion. They could sell it for $1 billion. WB games with all those licenses easily.
Nobody would buy that.
I would.
For $1
I would
billion?
have Mortal Kombat and like all the properties. Absolutely.
You would have Mortal Kombat, and that's it.
That's worth $1 billion on its own.
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Not really.
2 entries of Mortal Kombat, you make that money back like that. Easy. Not even 2. You could probably make $1 billion profit on 1 good entry of Mortal Kombat. You start talking about like Injustice and the other stuff that they do.
Well, you wouldn't get that. That's DC.
So the DC I thought the DC licenses came along with WB games.
No, of course not.
I think it does.
It does
Their
not.
Contract does. If they've signed a deal.
No, once it's purchased, all the licenses get reevaluated, and the holders of the licenses get to decide whether they want to make a new deal with the new owners. That's why.
Really?
Yes,
I thought that the deal was still in place.
Completely wrong.
Really?
Completely wrong. That's why Sony. That's what the whole conundrum over Sony Pictures being sold was because if Sony Pictures gets sold, Marvel gets to reevaluate the Sony film license.
Huh.
Because whoever
takes the same in films as games?
Unless you have some kind of special contract that is solid beyond normal. Yeah, anytime like the ownership changes hands, the license holder gets to make a decision about whether they want to continue that deal or not, because it's a different thing.
So what happens with like all the studios, like Rocksteady? I mean, you just dissolve those?
I mean, unless you either put them to work on something or you dissolve them, yeah.
That'll never happen. You're not going to dissolve Rocksteady. You're not going to eliminate the Mortal Kombat franchise.
Of course you would.
No way.
They don't give a shit about that.
It's asinine. It's worth a lot of money. It's not worth as much as the movie and TVs. It's still worth a lot.
That's not enough money to them.
There's no way Mortal Kombat would just disappear.
Well, Mortal Kombat would probably still get movies.
There's no way the games would disappear.
Sure.
That's just not going to happen.
They don't care.
They sell way too many.
They just shut Mortal Kombat 1 down 2 years early because it wasn't selling up to snuff.
Somebody will come to them with a deal they can't refuse. Like, PlayStation will buy Mortal Kombat. Xbox will buy Mortal Kombat. Nintendo will buy Mortal Kombat. Well,
that's the thing is I don't think they would sell Mortal Kombat because they'd want to keep making movies out of them, especially if the one that's coming out in May does well.
Yeah.
That will all come to a head one way or the other. But the thing is, Warner Brothers Interactive does not actually have any particularly interesting properties because Warner Brothers Interactive mostly does licensed stuff. Like they don't, if you bought Warner Brothers Interactive, you would get those studios, but you would not get any of the IP that those studios are famous for. You wouldn't get DC Comics. You wouldn't get Harry Potter. You would probably, I don't know if you would get Mortal Kombat. I don't know what the ownership of that IP is. Because
they bought NetherRealm and Mortal Kombat out of Midway Bankruptcy Court. So they do own them.
But I don't know if selling NetherRealm gets you Mortal Kombat, is what I'm saying.
I don't think it does.
I think the IP is the thing that Warner Brothers holds in its own regard.
It's separate, yeah.
So really, if you're selling Warner Brothers Interactive, you're just selling a bunch of video game studios.
Yeah. I mean, you're still selling Mortal Kombat, but
you aren't.
Yeah, they own Mortal Kombat.
Right, but why would you sell Mortal Kombat as an IP if you're just trying to get rid of Warner Brothers Interactive?
Well, you could still strike a deal to do a film, even if somebody else owns the IP.
Or you could just do the film yourself and not strike a deal with anybody and not pay them anything.
Yeah, but
why would they care about video games of Mortal Kombat when they could?
They don't care about video games or anything. They care about money. That's all they care about.
Well, they can make money off the movies.
Why would you just dissolve something that's worth $2 billion? That's insane.
Because it's not worth that unless somebody pays for it.
Someone will pay it. Someone will absolutely pay it.
No one's paying $2 billion for Warner Brothers Interactive with nothing attached to it.
They would pay at least $1 billion for Mortal Kombat alone. Guaranteed.
But they don't want to.
And then they pay another $1 billion for the studios.
But they don't want to sell Mortal Kombat. They want to get the new owners of Warner Brothers.
I don't know, man. The Mortal Kombat movie is not going to do that much money, man. The last one made what? It didn't even turn a profit?
It was a huge hit.
Really? It made money?
Huge.
Really?
It was right after.
I know it wasn't bad.
It was right after the pandemic lockdown ended. It's the first thing I saw in theaters. It was a giant hit.
That's also a special.
That's why they made a sequel to it that's coming out in May.
Right, but that's also a special condition. That was like everybody can finally go back to the movies.
Right.
They're probably gonna go see a movie they really don't maybe want to see.
And all these executive people make these decisions based on the last thing that happened, and they don't remember context. And now the last thing they remember about
COVID.
Now they do not.
Come on.
Because if that was true, they wouldn't have made another Mortal Kombat movie. Because they're not going to get another boost.
Well, that's also my point. So, it's going to do terrible. There's no value.
But that exactly.
So why would they keep it for the movies?
Let me finish the sentence. The last thing they're going to see is a movie that didn't do well and a game that shut down 2 years early.
It still
and they're going to
made a
see
ton
no
of
value
money,
in
though.
it.
Mortal Kombat 1 made tons of money. It sold like 8 million units. Just because they shut off
But
the DLC early doesn't mean they didn't make money.
incredibly small potatoes to these people.
It's value that people will then say, I want to buy that. I want to buy NetherRealm. I want to buy Mortal Kombat. They made a ton of money. I can make 2 games and make that money back, and I'm in the black for the next 30 years. It's simple. Like, they're not going to... Mortal Kombat, the game, is not going to go away.
Mortal Kombat, the game, went away for a while back in the day.
When?
It was a non-issue in the zeitgeist for almost 10 years until they did the reboot.
I mean, I don't know. Anyway, we can't spend any more time on this. But the bottom line is this is getting real messy.
What I'm saying is the Warner Brothers Interactive question is about the 4,893rd most important part of this deal.
That's
they
what
don't
they
care.
said it. They said they don't care.
care.
They said this is the rounding error in the deal, the games part. They sloughed it off. That's why people are freaking out. They're like, what? Like, to us, this is all that matters is the games that you guys make. We don't care about these crappy movies you keep putting out.
That's not true. I think Warner Brothers is one of the strongest movie studios around right now.
Well, the DC movies suck. Like,
the Superman movie was great.
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. But
the Snyder ones,
most
the
of the DC movies suck.
Well, sure, because they were fucking in charge. Zack Snyder was in charge of it, but now James Gunn is making them, and the Superman was good. Creature Commanders is good. Peacemaker's good.
All right. Well, I hope they turn it around. But
turn what around? They're gonna fucking ruin it. If it all goes to Netflix,
you think they'll fire James Gunn?
Probably not, but I don't think
they're really dumb.
I don't think they're going to get theatrical releases anymore. And Netflix sure as hell doesn't give a shit about video games. Like their video game initiative fucking flopped
like 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, like
but
we,
they keep saying
we didn't even hear about one of them until it already happened.
Yeah. Well, they keep saying they won't give up, but we'll see. But anyway, the bottom line is this is not the end of the story. Like we need to move on. Like,
but whoever wins here, Warner Brothers Interactive loses. I assure you.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, no one who buys it is going to have games as a priority. No matter what. So,
and at the very least, even if they sell those studios to somebody, it's going to be 5 years before you see another NetherRealms game.
Yeah, maybe.
It's going to take forever for any of this. Especially if they can't. I mean, they could
the
theoretically continue whatever project we're working on, which is rumored to be some kind of Injustice-related thing or something akin to some DC-related thing. But again, if all those things shuffle around, you don't know what's going to happen to these studios.
Yeah. Also, it was revealed this week that they were, in fact, forced to make Suicide Squad.
I mean, I could tell.
Yeah. But this week it came out that was in fact the case. That no one wanted to do it. And the studios forced them to make that game. Next up, this week, I think we got the first real test of AI, Matt, because a fake trailer for Shenmue 4 made the rounds online, and it really made the rounds online. People really thought this was a legitimate trailer that somebody had shot off a TV screen. I will say this. They did a very good job on this.
I mean, if you're going to use AI to mimic anything, believably,
Shenmue
is it. Long, meandering shots where nothing really happens and people walk slowly through static locations. I mean, yeah, you probably could make Shenmue 4 with AI.
This trailer is like 4 minutes long, and it's 360p, and that's the only version you can get. So whoever created this was very smart. They're like, I'm going to make it low res so people can't.
And clearly they fed like the entire footage of all the Shenmue games into the AI and
because this is very much a Shenmue trailer.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just the way it's cut, how it shows the characters,
the blank faces. I mean, but it's like Shenmue is like if I didn't think of it until I saw this before, but it's like yes, if there was a game that maybe you showed me legit footage of it and I couldn't tell it was AI. Shenmue 3 would be it.
They chose very wisely.
It's absolutely it, because it's like...
And the timing's right. Like, the Game Awards are coming up. People could be fooled into thinking that, that it's going to be in the Game Awards. Whoever did this, chef's kiss, masterclass. However, it does present a bunch of issues about how it's becoming increasingly difficult to tell if shit's real or not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's you see people put up, it's like, oh, here's AI doing this game, and it's like the most... It's garbage bullshit you've ever seen.
It really is. But you can now get it to do stuff like this, and it can be plausible.
But this is only plausible because Shenmue is so stupid.
It is. No, you're right. They chose the right
like,
property.
now do Katamari, asshole.
I mean, that might work too, Katamari, actually.
You couldn't get something that detailed to work.
You're
it would be
right.
a jumble of nonsense.
Yeah. But you're right. There's not a ton of properties that this would work for. Because if it was like God of War, you couldn't put it out at 360p. But even if you did, people would be digging in, looking at every like little shader and whatnot. Like, it just would not work. People now assume that Shenmue is a cut rate franchise where it might look a little janky.
I mean, if Shenmue 4 exists, I expect it to look almost exactly like
this. This is what I think the trailer will look like for Shenmue 4. And I made sure to load up a trailer of Shenmue 3 in the TriCaster just so we could watch what a real trailer of Shenmue looks like. And it is very freaking similar.
Well, look, and obviously they are the algorithm is drawing from this footage.
Yeah, of course.
It is believable because it is plagiarizing all the actual footage of the game.
Yeah.
But this is all Shenmue has ever been.
They
didn't really progress past what 1 and 2 did in terms of that.
Notice the thing at the bottom there? That was in the fake trailer, too. The Usenet plus original game at Sega.
Because it was in all the footage it's stealing from.
Yep. They did a good job on it. It definitely fooled a bunch of people, but it's fake. And it presents an issue that we're probably going to have to deal with now until the end of time. And it's only going to get harder. Like, you're right. Right now, Matt, it's easy to tell stuff's AI. Like, I've seen 3 or 4 fake video game trailers. Blatantly obvious because they're just weird shit. There's people's hands are weird or like just something appears out of nowhere.
Well, it will continue to be easy because the algorithm is never going to understand what a game is. It's never going to understand it. Like you see, like things like I saw. What was it? I saw it was like somebody running through. It's like it's a character. I can't. It was a license of it was like an IP of something. I can't remember what it was, but it was basically like look, it's a game of that person running, this character running through the city or whatever. And it's like. Did it look kind of vaguely like something that could run on PS5? Sure. But was it a game? No. Like, there was no logic to how the camera worked. There was no logic to what you were doing in the game. And the algorithm is never going to understand that. So you'll always be able to know that. Like, the advantage here is that someone took... Honestly, this is a good example of someone knowing the limitations of a Gen AI algorithm and realizing that if I feed this enough of this one particular game that already looks stilted and weird... I can make it emulate that in a way that could be believable.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you're going to try to make GTA 7 out of it, you're never going to get anything workable. Because
maybe someday, but right now, definitely no way.
Not never day.
Because
because the algorithms can never create anything new. That's why the Shenmue thing works. Is because we don't expect Shenmue 4 to be anything different or more advanced than Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
And so, looking at that, one of the reasons that it's believable is like, do you expect Shenmue 4 to be a huge leap in graphics or gameplay ideas or anything? Of course not. You expect it to be basically the same thing again with slightly more content, and that's what that is.
I think AI will be able to create debut trailers where they're just all cinematics and cutscenes and there's no gameplay. Creating a gameplay trailer will never happen.
They will not be able to do that because you could do it if you plagiarize other action movies or something from it, but you will never be. They can't create anything new. They can only create collages. So you'd have to feed in like 14 copies of like Chinese action movies and hope that it spits something coherent.
You could feed in a bunch of Uncharted stuff, and it could turn out the first trailer for Uncharted 5 just a cinematic thing where it's just characters emoting and dramatic camera angles. Like you could do that. Like,
but why would you do that?
Why did he create the fake Shenmue trailer?
For attention.
Right.
But Sony's going to have to answer for that. If they do that.
No, I'm not saying Sony would do it. I'm saying more people like whoever did this will do it.
All right, but that's going to be obvious too because you're like, well, this is just like it's all nonsense. It's never going to create a narrative thread that makes any sense.
Have you messed around with AI, Matt?
Yeah, some.
No, you can make it do whatever you want. Like the good video AIs, most of them right now can only produce like 10 seconds at a time. So you just create that one scene. You say camera over the shoulder, sun coming up, character walking towards you, and like it just does that 10 seconds. And then for the trailer, you just snap all those 10-second segments together.
Right. I've seen AI trailers. They're still incoherent bullshit. Like it doesn't play as a real scene.
But you can just set it up so it does. Like,
well, then why don't you just make it? Like,
why don't you what?
Why don't you just make an actual trailer?
Because it's still way easier to use AI than going in Unreal and building everything out of
polygons.
polygons.
We're not talking about easy. We're talking about making video games.
Like, no, we're talking about making a trailer for a video game.
Right, but no one's going to... Anyone who would resort to something that lazy is never going to make something that's going to fool the majority of people.
This fooled a bunch of people.
Because Shenmue is a very specific case.
But the technology is only getting better. You don't understand AI, Matt.
I do understand.
I mean, you understand
the
conflicts of...
I understand when people put up these things, they're like, look what AI can do. Look at this trailer I made. Look at this trailer for this non-existent movie. Or look at this little short animation film I made. And it's all garbage. And I don't mean garbage in the sense of, oh, it doesn't look right or the fingers are wrong. I mean there's no narrative to it.
But that's
There's
very easy to fix if you know what you're
why
doing.
then why don't they?
Because they're amateurs. They don't know what they're doing. You get somebody who actually understands composition and shots and lighting and everything, they can do it.
Okay, so who are those people that are going to use that to fake Uncharted trailers with it?
People who want attention, like you just said.
But those people are, by definition, the amateurs with no talent.
Why would you say that?
Because that's who always makes this shit.
But that's the thing with AI. You don't have to have a ton of talent.
But you have to have enough to be able to make a coherent through line, like I just said, and like you just said. Like the people that make these things that are supposed to prove that like AI is going to be able to do this.
It's not
never
rocket
make
science,
this shit.
Matt. I hate to say it, but it's not, brother. Like,
then why haven't they pulled it off?
For a vocation, but it's not rocket science. Like a
a
lot of people can do it.
It is rocket science to make a good narrative.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a good trailer. It just has to.
Well, I know.
People.
I've played Uncharted 4. What I'm saying is like that is not going to happen with large language models. It may happen if you can get to a point where like I don't even know what that. You need to have creative control over what's happening in a way that makes it so that the only thing you'd be cutting out would be like the render farm, and you would need a very honed AI model for that, to the point that you'd basically have to train it only on what you want to make. And to that point, you're basically a movie studio with an AI assistant tool.
I think AI is advancing way faster than you think. And you're going to be shocked in like a year's time at some of the stuff that's coming out. I'm already shocked at some of it. When the people who actually take the time to use the tools correctly and what they can create, you're right. The vast majority of it is just some 13-year-old kid going to ChatGPT.
But these are not 13-year-old kids. They're 35-year-old venture capital guys who think that they're creating art, and they're not. It's not functional.
I mean, where do you get that information from? That they're 35-year-old venture capitalists?
They're all... read their bios. They're all tech bros who are trying to get their startup off the ground.
Wait, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the people that post their AI-created trailers or short films or short animated films or whatever on Instagram or on TikTok or on Twitter. Like, there's a whole cottage industry of these guys who are, like, trying to be the first people to break out with their AI short films or their AI short film festivals or whatever. You know, these things happen everywhere, and I keep an eye on that because that is literally my fucking job as someone who owns a production company, keep an eye on what these fucking idiots are doing. And every time, like, the visuals get better. Like, obviously, Will Smith doesn't look like a fucking demon eating spaghetti anymore, but they're still not communicating anything through these visuals. And the communication has to be put there by a human being. That's the
These
barrier.
are human beings that are going to do this.
But they're not, but you can't a prompt cannot do that through the algorithm. Like, you need intention, and there is no intention in any of these things, and it's noticeable, and it will not change.
I don't really understand what you're saying still.
I know you don't, dude.
I really don't.
I know you don't.
Yeah, because I think you're going to be proven wrong.
And I'm not.
Okay.
I will not.
I mean, why do you think people are dumping billions of dollars into this? They don't. They're smart people. They're capitalists.
No, they're not.
Really?
They are dupes.
I mean, I know there's dumb rich people, but I don't think there's that many dumb rich people.
There are. I assure you.
All right. Well, we got to move on. Next up, I hinted at this a little bit earlier. One of the big surprises for the Game Awards coming up on Thursday is a reboot of Tomb Raider again. The rumor is...
Technically, wouldn't anything that comes out now be a reboot of Tomb Raider because it's been so long since Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Has it been 5 years since that? Is that how long it's been?
At least 5 years.
Really?
Hasn't it?
I thought it was 2018.
Feels like a long...
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Well,
that's 7.
2018 was 7 years ago.
7 years.
So.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess it has been 7 years. Well, you got to remember, like, the license was kind of handed off to Embracer, and then Embracer, like, worked out some kind of a deal with Amazon.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, I thought it was 2018. So it's been kind of in flux figuring out who is going to make the games, but the word on the street right now is that a remake of the first Tomb Raider is going to be unveiled at the Game Awards on Thursday. And this,
so like a remake of the
first
like
Tomb Raider
1995 game,
yes.
or
yes, a remake of. That's again why I thought the crocodile was hinted, because there's tons of crocodiles and alligators in the first Tomb Raider. That's another reason why I thought maybe that statue was for Tomb Raider. Turned out it wasn't. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they are. The word on the street is that they're remaking the first Tomb Raider game.
Okay, so trying to look at the gaps here. There were 3 years between Angel of Darkness and Legend, which was basically the first restart when they gave it to Crystal Dynamics the first time. And then there was 5 years between Underworld and the Tomb Raider, the reboot on the island.
Yeah.
So it is more than long enough to be time for another rebooted Tomb Raider, I guess.
I guess. I mean, do you think it's smart to reboot a franchise twice in a decade? Like, I mean, I guess it's been, 15 years now since the first reboot? Something like that?
It has been 12 years.
12 years? I mean, rebooting a franchise twice in 12 years, that seems a little... I don't know.
I mean, they just rebooted it twice in the space of 7 years before that, so who cares?
I guess it really doesn't matter when it comes down to it. Either the game's going to be good or it's not, and people are going to care.
Of course not. They already did Tomb Raider Reloaded.
But do you think going back to the OG Tomb Raider is the right move?
Well, how else will we find out how she became the Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, maybe it's better to have a T-Rex in the game.
I mean, because the first one does have a T-Rex.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean.
Like, I mean, the first one was kind of fantastical. Like,
yeah. The first few were fantastic. I mean, this one leaned more into an Uncharted thing where there wasn't any fantastical stuff until the end of the game, which is what Uncharted...
There's still some supernatural stuff, but
but it was more like incidental near the end, and like there was like giant statues or samurai guys run around. Whereas
these games felt plausible.
The T-Rex showed up in the first level of the first game.
These games felt plausible. The initial Tomb Raiders felt like fantasy. And I just wonder if that's the direction the industry is headed right now, as to some more kind of over-the-top take on an action game.
They got to get it out the door first, which has been a problem.
Yeah, because again, I think it switched developers at least once since they started working on the project. And it may have completely changed concept and everything else. So I'm not a gigantic fan of the first Tomb Raider. I respect it. Because it did lay down...
I never liked the Tomb Raider games.
It did lay down a template for games that are still being replicated to this day.
Sure, but I found the original Tomb Raiders basically unplayable.
Yep, they're very hard to manage. So it does need a remake. There's no doubt about it. And I feel like they're maybe playing on the nostalgia angle here of most people. Somewhat. Like, well, I remember Tomb Raider when it was awesome back in the 90s.
Well, and also they're playing more on like the people that know it from the movies, because the movies were moderately successful. The Alicia Vikander or whatever. And aren't they doing a new TV series?
Right. And so that's what I was saying earlier, was how I think it's Amazon or whatever that's working on the show is like, we're unifying the show and the game, which means that in Amazon's view, Tomb Raider is now going to be the OG concept of Tomb Raider. And I'm wondering if she's going to have the gigantic boobs again, and she's always going to be wearing a tank top, and if they're going to go back like that.
That would surprise me.
Me too. But you never know.
I would imagine it's going to be kind of halfway between the original and these.
Yeah.
It's going to be
maybe
not as survival oriented.
Yeah.
I would guess she would be more mature and kind of confident in what she does. Be a little more a little more in control would be my guess.
Yeah.
Like, she's already the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
So to speak. Because honestly, that's where I wanted these to go for like 2 games now.
Yeah.
We never really got, and this is also kind of that weird era where that was happening, where everything was a prequel and everything was like how things became the way they are, but we never got to see. James Bond did this with the Daniel Craig movies too, where like we never got to see her or James Bond, Daniel Craig, James Bond in their prime. We never just got a game where she was Tomb Raider, where she was Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. We never got a movie where he was just James Bond. He was either beginning or too old for this shit.
Yeah.
So, like, at least we didn't get the too old for this shit Lara Croft game. But it feels like maybe now we're at a point where we could do one where can we just have it be, like that Indiana Jones game. He is clearly right in the middle of being Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. Yeah. So how about a Tomb Raider game like that would be nice. But I really like these games, those 3, the Reboot
me too.
Shadow and Rise. I think they're all really good.
Yeah.
So if they turned it into more of kind of a, finicky platformer, I'm not going to be as enthused, I don't think. But I can't imagine they would do that because there's not a lot of mainstream appeal to that. Yeah. And you want to basically sell this game to the people who watch the Amazon series, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's what they're trying to do. Is just create this
there's no other reason to unify everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably smart.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do with it?
It does cut down on the creativity available for each of them.
It's not if you kind of free them up as like, well, the Amazon series is kind of the groundwork and the backstory of the character now, and so you can make a game at any point in that character's life, but it has to acknowledge that what happened in the series is canon, basically. Right. And so you can go anywhere. I mean, the thing about Lara is like if you just sort of lay down who she is properly in a kind of a baseline starting point, she can have any number of weird adventures across like 20 or 25 years of her lifespan, from like 20 to 45 or something, doing whatever. And you can put that whenever you want. You could even decide to pick a time period where she's born in this year, and any of the stuff that happens between these things happens between this year and this year. You could set it in the past. You could set it, set in the 90s. So you could do like stuff that's very specifically of a time period. You could set it in the future. You could do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
I think if you set the parameters of that and kind of turn it into a playground and set people loose to do whatever kind of Tomb Raider game they want, it kind of like enhancing what you're doing in the TV series, as long as kind of they cannot contradict each other. I think there's actually a lot of room to play there.
Okay, I like that. All right, well, that's gonna do it for all our topics in today's episode, which means that
we didn't get to KOTOR 2.
Yeah, we didn't. We just ran out of time, unfortunately.
Are we going to get a KOTOR 2 remake before the KOTOR 1 remake?
I think we are.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just very quickly, back in 2021, there was a KOTOR 2 remake in development.
It's still in development.
Is it? They're sure it's
they
still
started
in
over, but Saber, what was it? Mad Dog? I can't. It was a developer owned by Saber Interactive. Is started over on it.
Okay,
but that was like a year and a half ago or something.
Well, that's good.
It's good, but it's going to be a while. And now they're talking about a KOTOR 2 remake. Which, to be fair, if I could only have one, it would be 2.
Yeah,
I would pick.
Easily for me, easily.
But I mean, it's got the more interesting story. It's got the more interesting characters, and the remake would have the restored content incorporated.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done on it, man.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I got B-roll together. Obviously, we didn't get to it, but like I still had to put the B-roll together, and man, it needs some work.
They both desperately need remakes.
Yeah.
in to bring them up to.
And they should be.
But if I'm going to pick
games.
one, I want to see KOTOR 2 finished and polished and doing its batshit like. Like, I mean, the villain of that game hates the Force so much. Her goal is to murder the Force.
Right.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
That is the edge. That is edgelord bullshit I can get behind. Thank you, Chris Avallone. And that was so influential that to this day you'll see Star Wars. Even George Lucas's era of Star Wars took stuff from KOTOR 2's ideas of the Force.
Yeah.
It changed how we look at the Force from that franchise, and that's really cool.
It is. All right. Well, that, of course, means that there is just one thing left to do.
Somebody never turned the headphones down.
No, I just turned them up.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to get out ahead of it. That's right. It's time for Name That Game Tune, folks. Brought to you by Soundwizardry.com.
Echo.
The absolute... Don't do that. the absolute wizards in game audio. That crew has worked on so many Game of the Year winners. If you have a game project that you're working on right now, and maybe the sound isn't working out, maybe the dude that you hired to do sound flaked on you... Call Soundwizardry.com, contact Soundwizardry.com. They can work on a small project like that. Like I said, they can also work on a Game of the Year contender and winner and deliver outstanding audio. Go play Alan Wake 2 if you want to see what Soundwizardry can do. The audio in that game is absolutely incredible. That is Soundwizardry's work. Go to Soundwizardry.com, ask for Glenn. Glenn is literally one of the coolest dudes you will ever talk to and work with. Good people over there. Go to Soundwizardry.com.
I think Soundwizardry needs to start like a separate like Alpha Squad revenge team to take out these horrible sound people you keep talking about in the beginning of these ad buy pitches.
Seriously. Yeah,
because these people are ruining everything. They must have been the ones who were in charge of the satellite speaker sound on Metroid Prime.
I was just about to say, Nintendo, if you're watching this, and I know some of you are, you need to contact Soundwizardry and get the Switch 2's audio in line. I believe they can fix that and make it better for everybody. Anyway.
Vincent says, breaking news, Activision says it won't release multiple CODs in the same sub-series back-to-back anymore.
So no more Black Ops 5, 6, 7 in a row?
Yeah. Apparently that's what they took from
That's what they think the problem was? Yeah. That is not what the problem was. Anyway, the people at Soundwizardry are so freaking awesome that they sponsor this cool game that we play called Name That Game Tune. I play 5 audio samples from a video game. That was 4. I play 5 audio samples from a video game. And you try to guess the name of the game before this guy. Lately, we've been kind of going retro with the Name That Game tunes, and he's just been crushing you guys. Like, you really are on a heater, Matt, here over the last, 2 months or whatever.
Oh, you can't beat me if we're pre-1997.
That's true. Well, we'll see, I guess. A couple things before we get going. If you've won this calendar year...
Back when my brain still made new memories.
Yeah. That's funny. A couple things before we get going. You can only win once per calendar year, although the year's about to turn over. So you guys all of you guys are about to become involved in it again. But you can, if you've only won in this calendar year, don't play. You can only win once. If you don't play PC games, please don't play, because if you win a PC game. And then finally, the chat goes into slow mode. Don't try to spam the chat with game titles. It won't work. You won't win, and you'll lose. So, are you ready to play That Game?
Unless you name the game before we even play a sound.
Yes, which has happened
once,
and I think it won't ever happen again, but who knows? I still can't believe that. That is still just insane. So anyway, are you ready, Matt, to play Name That Game tune?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to play Name That Game tune? Here is the first sample in 3... Wait, let me make sure I got the chat at the bottom here.
Whenever you say that, it always reminds me of the Dreamcast UFC game, where the referee was just like, "Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's get it on."
Yeah, let's get it on. Let's go. Let's play Name That Game tune. Here's the first sample in 3, 2, 1. It's not Tomb Raider, Ragtimer. He tried to guess it before he heard. Nice try. He wanted to be the second person to make it happen. But no, it's not Tomb Raider. Metal Slug, no. We have a winner.
Wow.
Yep. Luna Cholibre wins. It is Vector Man. Wow.
Impressive.
Great. I mean, he didn't need much more than a freaking one sample. Awesome job, man. Lunacho Libre knocks it out of the park on one clue. Wow, that's awesome. Well, here, I'll play the rest just for fun. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. Here's
I would have gotten on that one.
I thought you might get it on the first because it's a Genesis game. And
I knew it was a Genesis game, but I actually never played Vector Man that much. So, but I recognize the sound of picking up the little atom particles.
Yeah.
Which is the third.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. To get your reward, just contact me. You can contact me here on Twitch. You can contact me on SIFTD. I'm at Shane. You can contact us on Twitter at SIFTD Games. I'm at Dinfire on Twitter. On Blue Sky, I'm Shane Satterfield. SIFTD is SIFTD on Blue Sky. Just reach out to us at any of those places, and we'll start getting your games together. Also, by the way, if you are someone who's won over the last month and a half, you're still waiting for your game, I will get all that stuff sorted before I leave next Thursday. Everybody will get their games before I go, and we'll be all square to start out in 2026. So congratulations. Get at me, and I'll get you your game here in the next week or so. All right. That's going to do it for GameFace. Episode 462 right here on SIFTD Games at siftd.net. If you like what we're doing, head on over to patreon.com/SIFTD. That's SIFTD. For just $5 a month, you get all our content early there. You can help us with that, but you are an Amazon Prime subscriber. We talk about everybody giving us Amazon Prime subs here on the show. That's what I'm talking about right now. If you're watching on YouTube, go down below. There's step-by-step instructions on how to do that. If any of you guys have questions on how to do that, reach out to me. Send me a DM at any of the places I just mentioned, and I will help you out with that. It's not that hard. And in fact, once you've connected those accounts, it's just a couple clicks to give us $2.50 for free every month. And if you don't have money, you don't have Amazon Prime, then please just like the show, leave a comment on the show, share the show, review the show on podcast services. All that stuff makes a big difference, and it doesn't cost a penny.